Hi guys, it's China Cheesy Cake. We're back with part 2 of this interesting Rise of the Guardians fanfiction that, I was sent by my friend. You know the whole thing if you watch part 1, which definitely watch part 1 or you're not gonna know what the fuck is happening, because I swear part 1 is sure as hell a ride. If you don't remember, the exact name of this fanfiction is Bunnymund X Reader. Sorry, Love Between Last of Their Kind. Oh my god. I'll be putting it in the description of this video. The link, I mean. Not like you'd want to read it though. So I've been procrastinating on this. Clearly, it's been a while. It's just, I think you guys can understand why, though. I've been so hesitant to get right back into this because I literally, almost cried more than halfway through the first part because of a certain, scene. I think the title of that video gave away what scene I am talking about. Which, again, let me reiterate, this is a blind reading. Again, I only read 1 to 2 chapters with my friend at school. The rest of it, I have no idea what happens. And I have no idea. Basically, what I'm gonna say is, I have no idea if there's more sex scenes. I have no idea but I will give a warning if anything like that happens again, because it happened in the first part. So, I have no idea if it's gonna happen again. It fucking might, because these two bunnies are fucking horny. They really like to throw down that whole. What I'm trying to say is that the author of this fanfiction really likes to run down the whole bunnies multiply joke into the ground. Seriously, if I could take a shot for every time the author of this fanfiction made that kind of joke, I'd probably be drunk as fuck already. Not saying I would, because I can't drink. I'm not allowed to. But anyways, at this point I'm just stalling to not get into the real meat and potatoes of this whole thing. If you could, I don't know, this fan fiction hurts my brain. Why did I agree to do this? I don't know. I don't. Anyways, China's gonna stop talking about nonsense and actually get to this reading. Reminder, we're on chapter 18, which, again, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, you're not gonna understand shit. I mean, to be honest, even if you watched part 1, you probably still wouldn't understand shit, because I sure as hell don't. But, let's get into this. Hold on, let me put this on my lap. Alrighty. Chapter 18. Author's point of view, which isn't really the author's point of view. It's actually second person, but I'm not gonna critique too much. Let's get into this. You had felt more sick when the sleigh was almost there, where the powers had be seen by globe, which had caused your fainting, but at least others saw you just fainting. For real, Pitch Black had caught you with his nightmare, and you were seeing very bad one in your dream. Holy fuck, this grammar. Is she okay? Oh my god, that voice crack. I'm sorry. Is she okay? Oh my god, why is my voice... Whatever. And we're gonna go with that. Toothiana asked while Bunnymund rubbed your ears. Who's talking? Okay. I guess she felt so sick. This is her first time traveling by sleigh. Yeah, the shitty accents are back. Deal with it. The Easter Bunny answered, but then Sandman shook his head. He started to explain very fast that dark powers had caused your so-called fainting, and now you were very bad nightmares, and you needed to wake up quickly or it was too late. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We're book I got distracted with something else. Started to explain very fast that dark powers had caused your so-called fainting, and now you were under very bad nightmares, and you needed to wake up quickly, or it was too late. Gertrude Dookie thought, wake up! Bunnymund started to panic, and he tried to wake you up without any kind of result. He shook you by your shoulders, but you didn't react. Sandman was trying to send you some positive dreams. I almost read that as positive vibes. But they were totally blocked. Ugh. All he could do was just... Hold on, I thought something... Okay, we're good. All he could do was just follow your state by his powers. We are about to land soon. Try to wake her up, the North said, and demanded the reindeers to start heading down a bit. What do you think I'm trying to do? Bunnymund shouted nervously while Toothiana tried to calm him down and help him to wake up. What if we get ambushed? What if Pit just wanted us to bring her here? The special Jack Frost voice is back, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Oh, hold on, I gotta burp. Alrighty. Jack Frost said after his offer for helping had got denied by Bunnymund. He had suggested that he could try to wake you up by his ice powers, but Toothiana said that it would only cause you sleep deeper. Somehow. What? I'm not even gonna question this fanfiction anymore. Ambushed? Why? Whatever. Why did I hesitate? Bunnymund said and hugged you tightly. All ideas for waking you up had used after he had tried to kiss you awake. He was so scared of losing you. Pitch wants her. Don't you get it, Bunny? Jack said, and he was worried too. All of the Guardians were. After they had thought that the situation couldn't get any worse, Toothiana gasped after checking into your mouth. What the fuck? I mean, she's a tooth fairy, but okay. Her gums are getting whiter, she gasped, making Bunnymund even more worried. The North got the point, too, by fastening the speed of the sleigh. What does fastening the speed even mean? I don't know. What does that mean? Jack said, even though he might had got the idea too. Loki sounded like a whale at that point. Who's saying this? Okay. Something is happening in her. Her body temperature is getting lower. I think the nightmare isn't that normal kind we are used to, Toothiana said and sat next to Bunnymund trying to get you warm. Who the fuck? Okay, they really... Okay. Mate. What if you move to the other side of the sleigh, just in case, Jack? We'll try to keep her warm. The Easter Bunny said worriedly, and Jack obeyed sadly. Hashtag justice for my boy Jack Frost. Sandman used his magical sand to form a blanket to you. It didn't help much, even if he could follow the nightmare state better with it. We are about to land, so hold on tight, the North yelled, and after a few minutes he managed to land, but it wasn't the most comfort type of landing. Holy fuck, I can't read today. All of you had fell off the sleigh, and you had got much more far than the others, which allured few of Pitch's nightmare horses to show up. Oh boy, surprisingly no comments on this chapter. Sad, they're the best thing about this fanfiction. Anyways, chapter 19, your point of view. Hold on, my lips are kind of dry. Okay, shit, I forgot where I was. I had to take a small break already for reasons. Okay, chapter 19, your point of view. I didn't remember much of the flight, because right after we were at the sky, I had sensed something which reminded a lot of Pitch's powers. I was sick already because of the type of flying, and it was my first time with sleigh, but my state had got worse and worse as much we got closer to the heading point. Ah, no! please don't. I had shouted and lifted my paws in front of my face after I had seen a nightmare horse coming through us. I think it was a vision because others didn't see it. But when I thought about it more and turned to look at the others, I saw that I was in a nightmare. I saw all of the guardians laying on the sleigh. I started panicking and tried to get Bunnymund and the others to get up, but then I realized that they were all dead. I started crying, and then noticed that Pitch Black was driving the sleigh, and reindeers were his nightmare horses. No! I shouted, but without any results. He just laughed before saying, "These are going to be my dream weddings, my dear Gertrude Dookie-Fart," he said while grinning. I turned to look at myself and saw a huge black dress on me. I was in a human form, or some kind of, but his kind of creature being. What the fuck does that... Huh? Anyways, I was panicking hysterically while crying. I also felt that my powers got weaker and weaker every minute, and I felt very cold. I knew this was a nightmare, but it was the worst, and I felt that I couldn't escape. There was no help for me. But then I felt some huge stomp, which made me wake up. The sleigh was on the ground, and I had fell far from it. The others were lying nearer to it. What happened? I whispered and tried to get up, but I couldn't. Hold on, I gotta burp again. Okay. I felt heavy hoof on my back, and then I noticed that there were a few nightmare horses around me. Bunnymund! Jack! Toothiana! I tried to shout at them, but they seemed to be fainted. I really hoped that they were alive, or else the nightmare had got real. Oh, shoot. "No use, my little girl. We are going home." I heard Pitch Black's voice behind me, and then felt him lifting me from the back of my neck. I tried to fight against him, but he sucked all my powers away before lifting me to lay on his lap. I don't like this. I saw Bunnymund moving and lifting his head up. He seemed to be fine, but a little bit dizzy. "Help!" I shouted weakly, and barely even heard my own voice. Then I saw the nightmare horses leaving while I tried to squirm myself free from the bad ride, but couldn't. Pitch lifted his hand on my back, and it felt huge, but then I noticed that I was just a little rabbit on his lap, just before he knocked me out. Oh, I don't like the vibes of this. Yeah. Hold on, I'm just clicking on things. Is it just me, or are these chapters getting really short? Like, I felt like the first half of the story, like, the chapters were really long. Not really long, but they felt much longer than this. I feel like with the first part, I was going through chapters a little slower. Whereas this, I'm, like, already through, like, 3 chapters? I went through 2 already. Hold on. I have to use the bathroom, so be right back. Alright, we're done with that. I took a nice fat piss. Alright, chapter 20. Bunnymund's POV. Oh, great. I go back to being Australian. Very bad Australian, I should clarify. Let me fix my screen. Mate. Gotta do a little voice test to my barely Australian accent. We are about to... Shit, that's north. "We are about to land, so hold on tight," the North yelled. I still can't get over the fact they refer to him as the North. The North yelled, and after a few minutes, he managed to land, but it wasn't the most comfortable type of landing. All of us had fell off the sleigh, and I barely felt that my grip from Gertrude Dookie-Fart had lost, which meant that we didn't fell onto the same spot. I just had no idea what I read, because the grammar in this fanfiction is horrible. Okay, that's kind of mean, but it kind of is. Anyways, move my hair out of my face. I was so worried. Oh God, let me fix that. Mate. I was so worried. Why am I struggling to say the word worried? Even in regular my regular voice. I was so worried about Gertrude Dookie that just in our last minutes, I noticed that all of us were in great danger. I heard the Norths yelling, and after that, everything was black, like my soul. It doesn't say that, but it should. Because no, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because I still fucking remember that, like, in chapter 1 or 2, they compared Gertrude Dookie Fart's fur to panties on a high school girl, so, like, yeah. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that anymore, really, until I heard someone yelling much farther than I had fell. Bunnymund, Jack, Toothiana, Gertrude Dookie shouted. I barely heard it, but everything I saw was black, like in Pitch's head. Get it? 'Cause his name is Pitch Black. I tried to open my eyes and move my body, but everything hurt, and I didn't feel so good. Okay, No use, my little girl. We are going home. I heard some voice that made my anger grow and my powers come back. It was Pitch Black's nasty voice. He's got a nasty voice. Nasty boy. Don't you even think about getting close to my girl, or I'll be your worst fear, I thought in my mind and growled, but still couldn't wake up properly. Then I felt some growling, which I recognized was Gertrude Dookie I was so worried, bane of my existence, about what was happening. Then I finally managed to open my eyes, but the view was just from my worst nightmares. The sleigh crashed, every one of the guardians had fell from it, and they were fainted. Don't you mean passed out? Whatever. At least I hoped they were alive and okay. No, they're not. And then I saw it. Gertrude Dookie was laying on Pitch's lap, and there was way too many nightmare horses to handle for just one guardian. Pitch had sucked out her powers. Interesting choice of words again. Because she was just a tiny rabbit. I knew the fact of read words, please. I knew the fact of losing powers because it had just happened to me last year. It felt horrible. Help! I heard my girl shouting weakly, and I tried to get up from the ground, even if my whole body was hurting. She tried to fight back, but then Pitch put his dirty hand on my girl's back to prevent her leaving. I was growling furiously, but when I finally got up, they had already flew away. I grabbed my boomerang and threw it after them, but they were too far. Gertrude Dookie fought! I cupped my front paws around my mouth and yelled. My ears dropped down against my back when they disappeared from my sight. I limped to the others and tried to wake them up. The reindeer had run away and the sleigh looked like it would never ever fly again. I slapped the North's cheek with my front paw, a little, to wake him up, and gladly it worked. North, get up! The hell is raging! They got Gertrude Dookie I shouted and helped him to sit up. Then I heard Jack Frost mumbling somewhere near us. I saw him and ran to him. Then I saw Sandman helping Toothiana to get up. She had hurt her wings and couldn't fly. Then I heard that the North's ankle was hurt too. I'm assuming this is North because they don't fucking clarify it, which is again another problem that this fan fiction has. You know what? I feel like I should give a whole review of it after I'm done reading. Maybe. We'll see. I've given some of my thoughts already. Went on a little rant here and there. Maybe give a whole review at the end of this. Maybe. Let's just continue. Where was I? This was my worst landing. He sighed and tried to get up. No, sit there. We'll help you. Like I said, his voice gets more obnoxious for each chapter. Jack said after I helped him to get up. How did this happen? I yelled, and then my boomerang flew back at me. I'd like to imagine it just fucking hits him in the side of the head. Just 'cause. I just like to think that's what happens. I think it would be funny. Where was I? There was something in front of us, like a black mist that blocked the view, the North said and grabbed his globe. Can you track her? We need to save her, quickly, I said, then tried to get the sleigh back on its legs by Sandy's and Jack's help. Hold on, my lips are really dry, I'm sorry. There's no use. This globe is lost like the sleigh as well, the North said desperately while Toothiana was checking his ankle. We need to get back to the North Pole, otherwise we are no help for her, Jack said Jack said what we all were already thinking about. I gulped and turned to look at the sky towards where Pitch had flew with you. It should say Gertrude Dookie Fart, but it doesn't. Towards where Pitch had flew with you in his nightmares. I guess the tunnel holes are the only way. Buckle up, guys. We are going now, I said, and then tapped my right back leg to open a tunnel portal under us. Gladly, I managed to get us right into the North's workshop with the sleigh and everything, except the reindeers, which were probably running on their own in the forest. I think we can catch them later, I thought while helping others after a tunnel ride. Chapter 21. We're not close. We're not super close yet, but I can't wait till we get to the halfway point. Your point of view. Great, I can stop this shitty accent. When I woke up, I saw nothing, just darkness. But when my eyes got used to the darkness... No, parents! I forget how the rest of the song goes, but it's the Batman thing from Lego Movie. I love that movie. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure there's definitely Lego Movie fan fictions I could read for this channel. How did I forget the word for that? I don't know. There's definitely ones I could read. I think I may have actually found one before. It was funny. You know what's crazy? I still haven't watched the Lego Movie sequel. I definitely need to do that. Oh my god. Like, God, I love the Lego Movie. I love Legos, okay? Let's just go off track here because frankly, I don't give a fuck, but I love Legos. I love collecting Legos. If you know me, IRL, then you know that I love collecting my Ninjago Legos because I'm a nerd. Ninjago's great. Oh my god, I could definitely read Ninjago fanfiction. Trust me, I know there's a lot of those. I'm not saying I've read them or anything. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of funny ones I could read for this account too. Definitely. Anyways, let's keep going on with the actual thing. The whole point of this video. It's not about Legos, unfortunately. Anyways, used to the darkness, blah blah blah. I noticed that I was in a cave that looked like it was deeply under the ground. The second thing I noticed was that I was tied with magical black sand against the wall of the cave, but few meters higher from the flooring. What the heck? Where am I? I sighed and kept my ears down. I tried to rumble myself free, but it didn't help. But at least there were no Pitch Black or his nightmares. But where were they? Pitch! Are you there somewhere? I tried to shout, but it hurt my throat. But then I saw him walking from the shadows. Ooh. You should be You should be nicer to be, my little Gertrude Dookie Fart. But yes, I am here. Why do you ask? And I see you are awake. He smirked and walked around, trying to do my sexiest voice for him, because, Why am I here? What is this place? This is as much dark than your head is. Okay. I growled and my nose was twitching. I Take that as a compliment, he huffed, making you growl. Asshole, under your breath. Did we just switch point of views again? That's another problem that I have with this fic. I heard that, he said, and kind of teleported himself with his powers to the high cliff. It was higher than the point. I was hanging at the wall. Okay, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of unnecessary spaces between paragraphs. Sorry, got a burp. I hoped you would. I growled and followed his every single movement. Gladly, I was used to dark places, so my eyes got used to it quite fast. But why am I here, you ask? Don't you recognize this place? This is our home. Pitch Black smirked, which made me want to throw up. What? This ain't the same place. It was on the ground, I said, making him laugh evilly. After you had betrayed me and crashed the topping, I noticed that there was a hole on the flooring of it. I used my last powers to move myself to it, and I landed into here. There's two entrances to here, he explained while smirking. Where's the other one? I wondered, but he just shook his head, right pointing finger. Tut? Who the fuck says tut tut? Okay. Tut tut. You are getting too nosy. He glared, making me sigh deeply and roll my eyes. Cliché! Just like this fan fiction. Oh. I said, but then he continued. But I could explain you why you are here, he said, and then laughed again. While sending my nightmares to destroy your weak guardians. He laughed evilly and snapped his fingers. Is that a good evil laugh? I've been trying to practice on that. You know. Anyways, he snapped his fingers too. I gasped loudly, but then he lifted his hands onto his mouth. Oops, they just already did. No! I screamed. You can't just destroy them. I yelled, even if it hurt my throat. But I already did. See for yourself, he said, and then sent a black sand cloud to hit right at my face. It's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare, I kept telling myself while seeing some horrified things. And I was happy that I noticed a few missing parts from it. Jack Frost's twine tender was made from a birch, but it was originally from a willow, and Bunnymund didn't have his knife with him at all. Seeing those things missing made me smirk, but I hid it from Pitch. I acted by screaming and fake crying that I believed it to be real. Oh my god, my friends are dead! Okay. I told you, he said, and then made a king seat for himself to sit on. You mean a throne? It was a black sand, as usual, and right next to it was a queen chair. You mean a throne? Seeing that made me gulp. Isn't it beautiful? It's just for you. If you make the vow to be my loyal wife. He grinned and tapped the seat next to him. I would throw up just for his words. I sighed and looked sad, to act for him. At the same time, I tried to think how I could free myself and the way go back to the others. Yes, it is Pitch, I said, making him look a bit surprised. Oh, good. I thought you would get your smart mind back. He smirked, but then something made me lift my ears up. I heard tapping, coming from the roof, and I recognized the tapping. It was Bunnymund. Are you sure it wasn't like a random raccoon or something? Like, that literally could be anything. How do you know for a fact it's Bunnymund? Does he have a specific sounding tap? Whatever. Next chapter. We go back to Bunnymund's POV. Fun. After the tunnel travel, I helped the North to get up from the floor. I had managed to do the tunnel to his workshop, even though all of the reindeer had run away to the forest. It didn't go as planned, he said while limping his other leg. Oh, really? Oh, what if not? Not me. He only said, like, oh, really, but, like, you know. Jack's the only good thing about this fanfiction, I'm gonna tell you that. Anyways, Jack whined and stretched his back. Where's Gertrude Dookie Fart? Toothiana asked. Oh, shit. Toothiana asked, which made me drop down my ears. What? Jack Frost gasped after I told them everything I knew so far. Seems like his powers has evolved. He is much stronger if he can form nightmares that we can't even see. The North wondered while Toothiana took care of his ankle. Who the fuck is talking? Or they are just connected with her. Oh, I gotta fix that. Or they are just connected with her. That would be the reason why she was the only one who saw them. That's getting to hurt. Jack thought out loud, and then we was Sandy forming with his magical sand that he agreed with Jack Frost. Who the fuck is talking? Okay, there it is. We need to get back there. We need to save her from Pitch. I panicked and tapped nervously my right back leg against the floor. After noticing that Toothiana walked to me and hugged me tightly. I know you are worried, but we need to take care of us first. We are not ready to fight against him at the current state, she said sadly. And we need to call the reindeer back. If all of them ran away, we are screwed. Jack said what the North was just thinking, but that made me snap. You seriously think those grass eaters are more important than Gertrude Dookie Fart? I yelled at him, but then the Sandman lifted his hand on my arm to calm me a bit. I sighed deeply and lifted my paws on my face. Dude, you're kind of being a little bit selfish. Like, those are North's homeboys. How can you, like, just be like, fuck you? Don't like this interpretation of Bunny. No siree. Bunny! The North started to say, but I interrupted him. I want to be alone, I said, and then started to hop my way outside of the workshop. I heard that Toothiana tried to come after me, but someone had stopped her. I was just so lost after losing the love of my life that I barely know. And I knew she was in great danger. That thought was driving me crazy. Okay, so time skip 3 days later. Still Bunnymund's POV. Oh great, my throat hates that. Bunny! I heard Toothiana's voice at the door of the guest room I had stayed. Who the fuck is talking? I just mumbled while lying on the bed, my face towards the wall. I had met the depression since the fact that we couldn't help Gertrude Dookie Fart at all. The North said that we are ready to go after the pitch, only if you are ready, she said, making my ears lift up. What? But the reindeer pack, I started to say, but the next I heard Jack Frost's voice at the door. Sandman found them with his magical sand yesterday, all of them, he said, which made me jump off the bed. Yesterday? Why are you telling this to me now? I gasped and then stretched my body quickly. The North needed to take care of them, and for now his leg is better too, Jack explained, and after that all 5 of us got ready and hurried our ways to the sleigh. Oh my god, so much Jack talking. I love it, but like, it hurts my voice too, if you couldn't already tell. But he's my favorite to voice in this. He's so much fun. Everyone else sucks. No, that's mean. Okay. Where are we going at the moment? It seems like we don't even know where we should go. Oh my like struggling to get there. Oh my god, hold on, my throat. Jack wondered while we were flying in the sky. Back to the cave. There might be some clues where we really should go. The North said, and after coughing a couple of times, he continued. And there might be the globe I lost when we collapsed. He sighed. But if you lost it, how are we heading back to there? I wondered, but luckily he was quite sure about his answer. I'll trust my reindeer. They'll take us back there, and of course we have backup globe with us, he said and smiled to me. And now it says, at the forest where the accident happened, still Bunnymund's POV. This is all the same chapter, by the way. I'm getting creative with it, I guess. There's nothing in here! Jack Frost shouted, and he was very frustrated like all of us were. I can't believe this! How are we supposed to find her? The North said worriedly the words I were about to say. I don't know, I said and dropped my ears down again. I seriously don't know, I said and squatted down. We'll find her, I promise, Toothiana said and lifted her hand on my shoulder. How can you promise things like that? Jack said, but then North glared at him. We will find her. We just need to take better look at this place, he suggested while walking around the place. God, there's like something stuck in my throat. No. Okay. I needed to move the snowfall a few days so it wouldn't cover everything here, Jack said, making me smile a bit while lifting my ears up. You really did that for us, even if I was about to kill you a few days back, I said and turned to look at him. Yes, of course. You are my friend after all, mate. Why am I suddenly Australian? What the fuck? Anyways, and Gertrude Dookie Ford is your girl. I guess I don't know what that has to do with anything what I'm saying. Anyways, he said and walked towards me. I jumped to him and hugged him tightly, like a bro. No homo. No homo. When he hugged me back and said no homo. Okay, we're not doing that, I'm sorry. When he hugged me back, I noticed a couple of tears running on my cheeks, and I dropped my ears back against my back. Just let it all out. Just let it come all out. We understand that, buddy. Jack sighed and rubbed my back. I knew that they had never seen me crying before, but this time I just couldn't held it back. Phew. Oh my god, no! Sorry. Hold on, I was choking on laughter. Sorry, it's just this line. Few manly tears later, I heard Toothiana shouting a bit far from us. Guys, come over here. You need to see this, she shouted, which made me lift my ears up again, and every one of us run to her. What is it? Jack said. Did you find anything? The North asked while my whole body got tensed. We are close. I can feel it, I said and sniffed the air. Guys. Oh, shit. Guys! Hold on, let me take I got a water here because I knew this was going to happen. Hold on. Let me take a sip of water. Water ASMR. Check this. Yeah. Yeah, screw the cap. Anyways, where was I? Guys! Guys, look at the ground! Toothiana said and pointed weird-looking hole at the ground. A hole? Jack said and was suspicious about it. The Sandy? What is with this? I'm not even gonna. The Sandy looked very confused too. Yes! Oh my god, that was bad. Yes! But this ground we are standing on now is mostly rock. There should not be this kind of holes in it. She explained, which made us look at each other's... Who the fuck is dog? Titania is right. This is rather suspicious. This kind of hole is so absurd to be at here. The North said and rubbed his jaw. Should we try it if it led somewhere? Jack suggested, but then I heard Titania speaking again. It's too tiny. Oh my god! I'm not having a good day today. It's too... I swear to God, if my voice doesn't want to work with me. It's too tiny for us. Only the teeth fairies... It's tooth fairy, whatever. Only the teeth fairies or Sandman's sand could go there. But it's too dangerous if it truly leads to Pitch and Gertrude Dookie Fart, she said, making me sigh deeply. I'm gonna move my feet. I started to tap my right leg against the ground again. It was one of the signs where the others could tell I was nervous. That's kind of cute way to show feelings, Bunny. Hold on, do I gotta burp again? Okay. Titania said... Fuck! Titania said and smiled a bit. During that, I thought that I heard something which made me freeze a bit and sharpen my hearing. My ears started moving so I could hear better. Yeah, I agree! What is with me and burping today? What the fuck? Jack said, but then I lifted my right front paw up and hissed. Shh! I said, making them turn to look at me weirdly. What? Did I say something odd? Jack said, but then I demanded him to stay quiet again. Shh! Do you hear that? I said, and turned to look at them. I was so sure that I heard similar tapping, like I had tapped against the ground. Hear what? The North asked, and looked Sandy, who lifted his shoulders as a sign that he didn't hear anything. After that, I heard the tapping sound again, but much louder. That, I said, and the others heard it too. Like someone is answering you, Titania said, and tried to locate where the sound came from. I bet we just think the sound, Jack sighed, but then we all heard it again. It has to be Gertrude Dookie Fart. I jumped a bit and then started to tap the ground again as an answer. I heard it. After that, the Sandman formed a huge pointer arrow with his dream sand and pointed at the hole with it. The sound came underground. Next chapter. Woo, woo. Okay. Dying. Woo. Next chapter. Okay. It says, at the underground cave, author's point of view. Let me click. Okay. Right after you had heard the tapping and your ears had reacted to it, Pitch noticed it too and hurried his way to you. What did you hear? He growled and grabbed your jaw furiously. Nothing. I just stretched my ears. I may have heard the nightmare horses coming back. Nothing more. You whined under his touch. You'd hoped that you were right. He raised his voice and walked towards the entering. You sighed calmly and then hoped that you really heard Bunnymund and the other guardians. There's no nightmare horses here. Pitch growled while wandering near the entering. Okay. Are you deaf or something? I bet I heard them, and I do know their sounds. You spitted back, which made him wander his way to the entrance tunnel. Right after he left you, you started to tap your back leg against the wall and hoped that Bunnymund and the others would hear your response. But then you heard some voices at the tunnel where Pitch had went, so you stopped the tapping. When you noticed that he didn't come back yet, you started the tapping again, and this time much louder. You took the risk that Pitch heard it too. Then you took a small break so you could hear the possible answer for it, and yes, you heard the tapping sound again. Now you were 100% sure that it was Bunnymund. You sighed in relief and begged in your mind that they would come fast to save you from pitch black. Since there was no signs of pitch, you took that a change and started to wiggle your way out of the ropes, even if they were so tightly around your body, and they also had some of Pitch's magical sand on them to prevent escaping. Your point of view. I sighed deeply after wiggling a few minutes without any kind of results. I also wondered where the heck did Pitch go, but I only saw it as a moment to escape. Before my bad luck, I didn't hear the tapping sound anymore at the roof, which started to worry me about if I had just imagined it or if Pitch had heard it too and had gone to check. In worst scenario, he had found the Guardians and they were fighting again. I started to tap my right back leg against the wall again to try if I'd get an answer again, but then I noticed that there was some kind of sand falling off the roof when I tapped the wall. It looked like Sandman's magical sand, and it dropped right on top of the Pitch's black sand that was on the ropes. It seemed like helping, because after I had wiggled myself again, the ropes started loosening their grip, and I fell straight onto the ground, which hurt like hell. Oh, I didn't think about the landing at all. I whined and rubbed my butt and back before getting up. But when I was about to get up from the floor, I noticed that I didn't have any more powers. I felt so weak that I couldn't stand at all, so I fell right back to the ground. "But thank you, Sandy," I whispered and smiled a bit. That was the last sign needed to be sure that the Guardians were coming to save me. But right then, when I had thought this was going to end, I heard Pitch's voice again. "Are you going somewhere?" He laughed evilly and walked from one of the entrance tunnels. Then he came and lifted me up from my scruff like my weight was nothing to him. Right after that, a boomerang flew from the entrance tunnel and hit the back of Pitch's neck, which made him groan in pain. At the same time, he dropped me onto ground so he could lift his hands on the stop that hurt. I was so happy about seeing the boomerang, and especially when I saw it flying back to its owner. The Guardians ran from the same entrance tunnel that Pitch had just used, and Bunnymund was the first of them. Okay. Oh, we're getting closer and closer. So close. Okay. Author's point of view. Okay. "Got your dookie fought?" Bunnymund yelled after seeing you laying weakly on the ground. The next other Guardians ran inside of the cave too. "Bunnymund," you managed to say before your head fell on your front paws. "Why am I getting weaker and weaker in every single second?" You thought yourself and then felt Pitch's leg on your back. "Let her go!" You heard Toothiana yelling. She looked very worried too. "Oh, you little tooth fairy would never understand." Pitch Black yelled back at her, making her gulp and take steps backwards. Why did she look so terrified? You thought and tried to lift your head up. "She is getting weaker and weaker in every second." So much spit in my mouth. Ugh. The North said next, and then you noticed that Jack was squatting and leaning against his twine tender. "Pitch must suck her powers to stem somehow. I don't like that wording whatsoever," he said while taking a look at us. And change point of views again. "We can't attack when she is weak like that," the North said, but it was too late. Bunnymund had already thrown his boomerang again, and it hit Pitch's shoulder, making him groan. But this time he didn't take a step backward. He seemed much more powerful than he was earlier. "You might get stronger, but you'll never win the Guardians!" You managed to shout, but then coughed because it was too much to you. Pitch Black lifted you up again from your scruff, making you whine in pain. "Got your dookie fought!" Bunnymund yelled before he took his boomerang back. He looked so worried, and all you could do was just look at him back, and all of them could see that you was very scared. I'm going to take all of your and your little baby's powers until you are all dead, Pitch said while lifting a knife that was made from black and hardened sand against your throat. What babies? You whined in pain. The guardians had heard it too because... Oh, wait, No, don't fucking tell me. Don't fucking tell me. Oh, no. I looked ahead. I should have known this was gonna happen. I should have known that was gonna happen. God damn it. I knew that was gonna happen. Well, I didn't know it was gonna happen, but I fucking know what they mean now, but like, you and your oh my god. Like, I'm gonna give you guys a hint, but like I said earlier, the author of this fan fiction sure does love running the bunnies multiply joke into the ground. Like no tomorrow. Yeah, so, yeah. Let's just go. I don't even know what, blah, 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 blah. The Guardians had heard it too because every other than Bunnymund had gasped. Bunnymund just stared at both of you with horrified expression on his face. You didn't know it by yourself? Pitch laughed evilly and then lifted you up more. I sensed it by sucking your powers out of you. You and the Easter Bunny were going to have some babies, but not anymore. Okay, I'm actually having way too much fun voicing Pitch too. Like, Pitch and Jack, favorite ones to voice out of this entire thing. Everyone else is like, whatever. He said, and then punched your bare stomach with his hand. Oh shit. Pitch fucking hates baby. Pitch hates children. No, that's honest to God accurate. I mean, he's a fucking boogeyman. Of course he hates children. Literally, Pitch goes around and is just like, I'm gonna punt a child, and he does. We stand. Baby hater Pitch. Anyways, he punched your bare stomach with his hand. Yikes. You yelled in pain, which made Bunnymund hurry his way to you, but just before he was about to kick Pitch's ass, the villain raised his voice and lifted his knife against your neck. Ooh, sexy. Oh my god, no! Okay, so, you know, there hasn't been comments on this fanfiction in like a few chapters that we've been reading. There are some now. Thank God, because they're the only saving grace of this shit. I look, because I'm curious, and I also just, like, have fun reading them. And the first fucking one I see is, thanks, bro. The eggs are scrambled. I didn't want them anyway. Oh my god. That's too good. I'm sorry. I should not be laughing at that, but it's good. It's great. I love it. Anyways, you put the knife against your neck. Sexy. No. Seriously, why is he saying tut tut? What the fuck is that? Tut. Oh god, no. Let me just get my sexy voice ASMR time. ASMR with Pitch Black. Today, I'm going to be attempting to murder a pregnant bunny. Oh my god, no. Tut tut. If you move even an inch, I'll kill her. I need water. I'm sorry. Pitch Black yelled at the Guardians, who all looked terrified. Who all looked terrified right away. Bunnymund looked like he was going to explode in any minute. Oh my god, explode. Inside jokes. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up. What do you want, Pitch? We'll do anything if you let her go. Bunnymund said in worry, but that made Pitch Black only laugh more evilly. Sorry, love doing my evil laugh at any time I can. You noticed that the other guardians were questioning it. From you? Nothing but giving up. Pitch laughed and then tightened his grip of your scruff. What the fuck is a scruff? Like, keep mentioning that, and I'm scared to know what it fucking means, and there's no way in hell I'm Googling it right now, because I don't want to see some weird shit. Not right now. I'm already doing this. I don't need to make my mental state worse. So blah blah blah. Why are you doing this? I thought you wanted to marry me. You cried, and there was nothing to do to save yourself of your children if it was true what he had just told you. With you, traitor? Pitch answered and was about to throw you at the wall, but then denied the idea. I need to hear the truth. All these years. Oh wait, shit. God damn it, it's a YN. Fuck, they really need to make it easier to tell who's talking. I need to hear the truth. All these years, you raised me and did everything for me just to kill me? I don't believe that. You said and turned to look at him. He turned to look at you just for a few seconds, but during those seconds, you could see his truly expression. He looked disappointed in you, but also he looked like he still cared about you. Okay, real talk here. I'm just gonna mention this. Okay, so if you remember, the whole backstory about YN, or Gertrude Dookie Fart in this case, is that she's a fucking form changer, which is the author's really weird way of saying she's a shapeshifter. And apparently she was raised by Pitch because, like, her entire species was dead except for her, I guess. Like, Pitch raised her, and, like, she was, like, his second in command or something, and then she betrayed him and started helping the Guardians. I don't know. But, like, apparently, like, he's made mention of it before, obviously, in the, like, when she got kidnapped, he was like, oh, I'm gonna force you to marry me. And I'm just sitting here like, this is really fucking weird. You raised her when she was basically a child-ish, like, enough. Like, you raised her, basically. She even says it right there. And yet, he's also like, I'm gonna force you to marry me because I'm evil. Ha ha ha. And it's like, that is really, really weird and gross. Like, it's like he was trying to marry basically his adopted kid, and we are not fucking here for that. I just realized that, and I feel like that's something that needed to be pointed out, because what the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? I mean, that's not the worst thing about this so far. It's just another thing on the list that makes you sit there and go, what the actual fuck? Anyways, blah blah blah, he still cared about you. I'm sure he totally does. Pitch, you need to tell her the truth if there is any. She deserves it. She is innocent, Jack Frost shouted while getting up. Quiet, Pitch Black yelled, but then turned to look at you. I trusted you more than anything. Then you betrayed me by joining them, my enemies. He yelled at you, making you feel more scared than you already was. You should be happy that she found love, the North said. Even him was unable to do anything to save the situation. Happy? Happy about what? About losing the person I loved? He said, making all of you gasp. See, like, he's in love with basically his adopted kid. Sort of. Like, I know she doesn't technically see Pitch as her father. It's just the very fact that she says that he raised her and that he's in love with her. He's saying it right now. And I mean, like, I mean, to be fair, love is like more than just romantic love. He could have been platonic. He could have meant familial. You know what I mean? Familiar, as in like family. I can't say words, but I'm going off the idea that it is indeed of the romantic kind, simply due to the fact that he kind of had this obsession. I think it was also mentioned before about him wanting to marry her. So, like, if you ask me, that's a little, as like I already said before, that's a little bit what the fuck. But, you know, I'm not the author of this fanfiction. It's just in my opinion that people who raise a kid and then fall in love with them, it just should not happen, and that's a little gross, but hey, whatever. Okay, made you all gasp. You loved me? But why didn't you say anything? You said weakly. That's the thing you are concerned about? Is that you loved him? Is that he loved you? What the? Anyways, the way he treated you isn't love, Gertrude Dookie Fart. Okay, see, my boy Jack gets it. He understands. This ain't love. This is some weird, creepy shit going on here, and my boy Jack Frost understands it. See, this is why he's the best character. Literally why. Anyways, again, I keep interrupting, but like at this point, I don't fucking care. Like you would know something about love, Frost. Literally die, Pitch. I don't care. Pitch spitted back at him. Can you say I treated you badly, Gertrude Dookie Fart? Pitch said, and his voice was trembling. Out of character, but alright. Sort of. No, but you raised me, you said and looked at him. I helped you to control your powers. I wanted you to become stronger. Oh wait, shit! Seriously! It's so hard to tell who is talking sometimes. Holy fuck. I helped you to control your powers. I wanted you to become stronger, to be by my side, and when the time would have come, I would have married you. I truly loved you, Gertrude Dookie Fart. And as a form changer, the species difference doesn't matter. He explains, start making you start sobbing. I'm so uncomfortable right now, because again, he fucking admits it. He fucking admits it. I raised you, but I also wanted to marry. That is basically the equivalent of saying he adopted her and then he wanted to marry her. Gross. You're gross, Pitch. This is so gross. Oh my god. Did the author not logically sit through and realize what the fuck this meant? Like, the species difference is the last of your fucking worries, Pitch. The last of them. I do not like this. No. I fucking approve more of Bunnymund and YN's relationship here. Because, yeah, it's a whole Romeo and Juliet situation, is that they immediately loved each other upon first fucking sight. And even had sex upon first fucking sight. But, at least that is not as gross. It's not gross at all. It's just weird. This is just fucking gross. He raised her and wants to marry her. What? He raised her, and also what really gets it is he said, I wanted you to become stronger, to be by my side, and when the time would have come, I would marry you. So like, he was raising her. Hold on, let me reword this. But from what it sounds like the author is trying to imply that, like, as Pitch was raising YN, he always had this thought in the back of his mind that he wanted to marry her. And that is... No! No. The implications of that is so... It's disgusting. It's not exactly the same, of course, but it basically is. Again, like the equivalent of someone adopting somebody, or like a foster parent and their foster kid raising that child, and then when they get older, it's like, hey, I'm gonna marry you. What the fuck? If I had more sanity, I probably would have quit by now. You know what? Let's just hurry and get this fucking over with. Oh my god, by the way, we're already at an hour. Technically an hour and 5 minutes and 30, well, now 40 seconds. Let's go. Where was I after that mini rant? This Pitch, I don't know what to say. You whined weakly. You say, hey man, you're fucking gross and low-key a pedo. That is what you are. Because, yeah. Why are you gonna suddenly fucking fall in love with him? Even though why does that... Girl, do you not have a spine? I shouldn't make fun of it. I know toxic relationships and all that can be hard to get out of, but like, really? Really? Anyways, fuck, I agree with Bunnymund on this point. But he took your powers, Gertrude Dookie-Fart. You can't forget that. And I agree with you. I mean, it's not even just the powers thing, Bunnymund. Like, no one's gonna mention that other fucking thing I just ranted about. But alright, the powers are more important, I guess. Bunnymund yelled. You turned to look at him and noticed that while you were talking to Pitch, he had taken a few steps closer to you two. Step back, Easter Bunny. Pitch yelled after noticing it too, but he also took a few steps backward while still having his tight grip at you. That was after you betrayed me. Pitch answered to you about what Bunnymund had just said. You were going to destroy the Guardians! You lied to me about the plan at first place. You raised your voice but couldn't do it properly. What plan? Toothiana managed to ask. My dream is to take over the world, to cover it with fear and the dark things, like the golden Middle Ages was, before you five came. Pitch shouted angrily. But you didn't tell me that it meant that we needed to kill the Guardians. The world doesn't survive without happiness, Pitch, you said, making everyone stare at you. Blah, blah, blah. The world is a happy place, and we need all the Guardians to live happily. But it's also true that the life needs to have some fear in it. What the fuck does that mean? Why does life need to have fear? To do the life much safer if we know how to handle all the bad things. All 6 of you could live in balance if you just try it. You explained, making Pitch Black chuckle. Like I would want to stay a week in the middle of 5 powerful Guardians. In your dreams, Gertrude Dookie-Fart. He growled at you, but then noticed that Bunnymund had come closer again. Enough! Pitch yelled and lifted his knife against your neck. Enough talking. I'll kill her if the famous Guardians does not surrender under my powers. He demanded, and after that, all the Guardians and you could notice that he was very much powerful at the moment, but that was all thanks to your powers he has taken from you. Fine, I'll surrender, but only if you promise that you won't hurt her anymore. Bunnymund sighed and dropped on his knees weakly. Bunny, no! You screamed while Pitch started smirking. Bunnymund, think wisely, the North said while the other guardians were questioning the options. You'll find another love to your life, but think about all the children in the world. No one can replace you, Bunny. Jack Frost yelled. Even if his words hurt you, you knew that he was right. The children of the world were much more important than you. God damn. Getting real edgy up in here. No, I'll never find love again if I lose her. Bunnymund yelled back at him. There's nothing in my life again if she gets killed. I can't just lose her. I'm sorry, mates, Bunnymund said and dropped his ears down. Oh, how sweet. The furious Easter Bunny surrenders for a weak form changer. Pitch Black said cruelly. No, Bunnymund, you can't do this. You screamed and felt tears running down on your cheeks. Pitch, I'm begging you, stop this nonsense and let them go. I'll be right back by your side if you promise me that you won't hurt them anymore. You cried and turned to look at the boogeyman. Then everything happened so fast. No one could have done anything to prevent it to happen. Pitch glared at you, but he also had quite sad expression on his face before he said, Too late. And right after that, he formed his magical black sand into a couple of huge arrows and shoot them right on you and Bunnymund. You screamed in pain, and so did Bunnymund, who collapsed onto the ground weakly. You felt your whole body burning while Pitch sucked your last powers out of you. The arrows did it for him, which he meant that Bunnymund's powers were sucked out too. Since when was Pitch able to do that? What? Your soul got shattered into pieces after all your powers had gone. You took shape of and flower on the ground after that. Meanwhile, Bunnymund's form changed from the huge warrior to the shape of tiny pet bunny. Love how there's just a comment at the bottom that says, what? Me too, my guy. Me too. Chapter 25. Bunnymund's POV. Great, more Australian. Let me take a sip of water first. Okay. Bunnymund's POV. I'm sure she is down there, I said while tapping the ground. Sandman had formed huge pointer arrow with his dream sand and pointed at the hole with it. He agreed that the sound came under the ground. Is there some kind... Oh my god, I was doing so good. Is there... Why am I struggling so hard right now? Okay. Is there some kind of cave then? Toothiana asked worriedly. Fucking... blah 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 blah. If there is, it might be huge and might also be Pitch Black's paradise where he stores his dark powers. We probably get weaker there easily, the North said while rubbing his jaw. Do not Fuck. This is not going so great for me. Do not forget the nightmare horses. There must be army of them. Jack Frost sighed. But we need to save her, no matter what, I said and looked at them one by one. You are right, Bunnymund, but we must have a plan first. We can't just go there and attack blindly. Yeah, the North said, making me sigh deeply. I continued tapping the ground, with some pauses so I could hear her response. I was glad to hear she was alive. But what if Pitch does that sound to make us believe it's her who is responding? What if it's a trap and she is already dead? Jack Frost said, making me growl and lift him by his shirt. Gertrude Dookie Fought is alive. I know when I can feel it. I yelled at him, but when Toothiana lifted her hand on my shoulder, I let Jack go and turned to look at the ground while sighing deeply. So, a little quick fun fact. Did you guys know that Jack is apparently, like according to the author of the Guardians of Childhood, which, you know. Yeah, Rise of the Guardians was actually a book series first, and I low-key want to read all the books, but there's a lot of books, so that'd take a lot of time for me to do, and I'm not doing that right now. But apparently, according to the author, Jack is like 14. Like, yeah, he's like 14. And so it's kind of funny, but also a little messed up how Bunny, who's like this tall, big ass, muscular bunny, who's definitely old as shit, compared to Jack, who's, I mean, he's immortal now, of course, so he's like 300 now, but physically and mentally he's like 14. It's not really nice to think about. This, like, Bunny is basically beating up a small child. He's basically beating up a middle schooler / freshman in high school. What the hell? Anyways, I just thought I'd leave you guys with that mental image. Yeah. Anyways. Blah, 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 blah. I'll go Jack turn the ground while sighing deeply. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm just so worried about her, I said, and then Jack lifted my neck up with his hand. I know, and I'm sorry what I just said. I was just thinking about all situations, but I hope that she is alright, he said, and after that we hugged. And normally we wouldn't, but the situation softened us a bit, I guess. Time skip. Few bad ideas later. Still Bunnymund's point of view. Fuck. We had gone through so many ideas in a short time, but none of them would work in the cave of darkness. But Sandy had got one brilliant idea, and he made it work immediately. We had accepted it. He used a little bit his dream sand and transported it into the hole as an invisible eye for us to see if there really is a cave and to see where Gertrude Dookie might be. Hold on, I'm gonna burp. And if she was trapped somehow, the tiny pieces of sand would help us somehow. I really hoped that worked. Oh my god, I've been burping so much. And it's funny because I didn't even drink any thing like soda with like carbonation, so I don't know what's up. Okay. What should we do? This thinking and planning just wastes time. Jack sighed and lied down onto the ground. I just followed everyone with my eyes while thinking my very own plan. We have no other choices, Jack. We have to be patient, and we just cannot run into a trap that easily, the North said, but then I made my decision. I jumped into the hole, making every one of them gasp. Bunny! I heard Toothiana yelling, but it was too late. I had already jumped, and it didn't take long for when I landed onto the ground on my feet. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Love me like you do. Love me like you do. Anyways. I shouted at them while trying to look around. I also felt so much dark energy around me. Bad vibes. Which meant that this really was pitch black space. The cave was really dark. Like my soul. But soon my eyes got used to it, and I noticed that right in front of me was a tunnel that must lead us to pitch black space. That was really stupid from you, Bunnymund, the North said after a few minutes. Later, every one of them had entered into the hole. It landed right behind me. That blabbering would never lead us to Gertrude Dookie. I growled back at him, making Toothiana jump a bit. Blah, blah, blah. Who's talking? Don't be mad at him. The North is our leader, and you should not talk to him like that, she said, making the North lift his hand on her shoulder. Thank you, Toothiana, but probably he is right. Sometimes we just have to go and see what happens. This ain't the first time and probably not the last either, he said, making me nod to him. So what's the plan? Jack Frost said, making all of us turn to look at him. Stupid, I sighed. and then noticed that Sandy formed something with his dream sand. So she is there. I read his message for us. Is she all right? Toothiana asked, but I had already run into the tunnel. Bunnymund! I heard the North yelling at me again, but I had already gone. Luckily, I heard them following me fast as they could. The tunnel was very long and deep. And let's not forget the darkness. But as soon as I ran to the end of it, I saw some weird-looking light that came from some kind of stones that were at the walls of the tunnel. They were glowing somehow, but they led us to a huge cave. The stones were probably glowing because of its powers, but would they help us to defeat Pitch Black finally? There I saw Gertrude Dukifot. She looked so weak. In the next I saw some ropes on the wall. Sandman San was there too, and I guess he had freed her, but she had also fell very badly onto the ground. And right after every one of the Guardians had followed me enough, I noticed the Pitch Black had arrived too. Gertrude Dukifot! I yelled right after seeing her laying weakly on the ground. The next other Guardians finally entered into the cave too. The cave looked like a place where all the darkness would live, and I knew that were true because Pitch Black was living there. Bunnymund! I heard Gertrude Dukifot saying right before her head fell on her front paws. She looked like she was getting weaker in every second, and then Pitch Black lifted his leg on her back, which made my anger grow. Let her go, Pitch! Toothiana yelled. I could hear that she was very worried, too. All of us were, but I was mostly worried. Oh, you little tooth fairy would never understand. Pitch Black yelled back at her, making her gulp and take a step backwards. Then I noticed that Gertrude Dukifot tried to lift her head up. She looked so weak, which made me even more worried. Okay, sorry. Blah, blah, blah. My face is itchy. I got hair in my mouth. Not doing so good. Where was I? She is getting weaker and weaker in every second, the North said next, and then I heard Jack was moving, probably lent his twine tender. I'm gonna assume it's still North. Or is it Jack? They say he, and it's like, should it be North or Jack? I'm gonna make it Jack, just because I like doing his voice more. Pitch must suck her powers to him somehow. Oh, right, it was Jack, I forget. He said while taking a look at us. I looked at them for a moment, but then turned to look at her again. We can't attack when she is weak like that, the North said, but it was too late. I had already thrown my boomerang again, and it hit Pitch's shoulder, making him groan. But this time he didn't take a step backward. He seemed much more powerful than he was earlier. How was that even possible? That was supposed to hurt him more, I thought myself. Motherfucker, it's a boomerang. What did you expect when you just threw it at someone? Anyways. Ugh. You might get stronger, but you'll never win the Guardians, Gertrude Dukifot managed to shout, but then coughed because it seemed to be too much to her. Pitch Black lifted her up again from her scruff, making her whine in pain. Gertrude Dukifot! I yelled before I took his boomerang back. I was so worried. How could I ever get her safe without losing anyone else? I'm going to take all of you and your little baby's powers until you are all dead, Pitch said while lifting a knife. Knife that was made from black and hardened sand against her throat. What babies? Gertrude Dukifot whined in pain. The Guardians had heard it too, because other than I gasped. All I could do was just stare at them with horrified expression on his face. Was she pregnant to me? You mean was she pregnant from you? Pregnant. My babies. Prego. Sorry, I'm looking at these comments. They're funny. Was she pregnant to me? What? That's such a funny phrase. Put that on a t-shirt. Hold on. Water. Gotta get that daily water intake, because I sure as hell been slacking. Drink water, fools! I meant, yeah, drink your water, bitch, or I'm gonna fucking break your kneecaps. No, I won't. I don't even know. I'm just saying things to procrastinate at this point. You didn't know it by yourself? Pitch laughed evilly and then lifted her up more. I sensed it by sucking your powers out of you. You and the Easter Bunny were going to have some babies, but not anymore, he said, and then punched Gertrude Dookiefart's bare stomach with his hand. She yelled in pain, which made me hurry my way to her, but just before I was about to kick Pitch's ass, the villain raised his voice and lifted his knife against her neck again, which made me stop into my place. Tut-tut, if you move even an inch, I'll kill her. Pitch Black yelled at the Guardians, who all looked terrified. I was going to explode in any minute. He had hurt my girl, and now he had hurt our babies too. I'll make him regret that. What do you want, Pitch? We'll do anything if you let her go, I said in worry, but that made Pitch Black only laugh more evilly. I didn't care about what the other Guardians thought. I just wanted to get her and our baby safe. Alright. From you, nothing but giving up. Pitch laughed and then tightened his grip of her scruff. Why are you doing this? I thought you wanted to marry me. She cried, and she was getting weaker and weaker in every second. Would our babies ever survive from this alive? What? Would our babies ever survive from this alive? This was very much not beta tested, beta read. With you, traitor? Pitch answered and was about to throw her at the wall, but then denied the idea. I need to hear the truth. All these years, you raised me and did everything for me. Just to kill me? I don't believe that, Gertrude Dookiefart said, and then turned to look at him. He turned to look at her too, which looked pretty much odd in my opinion. Pitch, you need to tell her the truth, if there is any. She deserves it. She is innocent. Jack Frost shouted while moving again. I guess he just got up. It sounded like it. Quiet, Pitch Black yelled. Then he turned to look at Gertrude Dookiefart again. I trusted you more than anything. Then you betrayed me by joining them, my enemies. He yelled at her, making her look even more scared like she already were. That made my anger grow. I was so furious. You should be happy that she found love, the North said. Even him was unable to do anything to save the situation. Happy? Happy about what? About losing the person I loved? He said, making all of us gasp. You loved me? But why didn't you say anything? Gertrude Dookiefart said weakly. The way he treated you isn't love, Gertrude Dookiefart. Jack Frost yelled back at her. Like you would know something about love, Frost. Pitch spitted back at him. Can you say I treated you badly, Gertrude Dookiefart? Pitch said, and his voice was kinda trembling. No, but you raised me. And that's kinda gross. But you raised me, Gertrude Dookiefart said, and looked at him. I helped you to control your powers. I wanted you to become stronger, to be by my side, and when the time would have come, I would have married you. I truly loved you, Gertrude Dookiefart, and as a form changer, the species difference doesn't matter. He explained, making her start sobbing. Did she have feelings for that evil creature? Pitch, I don't know what to say, she whined weakly, but I could easily hear it. But he took your powers, Gertrude Dookie thought. You can't forget that, I yelled. She turned to look at me and noticed that while she were talking to Pitch, I had taken a few steps closer to them. I used the opportunity to move slowly closer to them whenever Pitch was looking away from us. Gertrude Dookie thought distracted him well by that nonsense blabbering of feelings. Step back, Easter Bunny, Pitch yelled after noticing it too, but he also took a few steps backward while still having his tight grip at Gertrude Dookie thought. That was after you betrayed me, Pitch answered to her about what I had just said. You were going to destroy the Guardians. You lied to me about the plan at first. Gertrude Dookie thought raised her voice, but couldn't do it properly. It seemed like it hurt and spent too much of her already weakened powers. What plan? Toothiana managed to ask. My dream is to take over the world, to cover it with fear and the dark things, like the golden Middle Ages was before you 5 came. Pitch shouted angrily. But you didn't tell me that it meant that we needed to kill the Guardians. The world doesn't survive without happiness, Pitch, Gertrude Dookie thought said, making every one of us stare at her. The world is a happy place, and we need all the Guardians to life happily. But it's also true that the life needs to have some fear in it, for some reason. To do the life much safer if we know how to handle all the bad things. All 6 of you could live in balance if you just try it, she explained, making Pitch Black chuckle. Like I would want to stay a week in the middle of 5 powerful Guardians. In your dreams, Gertrude Dookie fart. He growled. Mate, he growled at her, but then noticed that I had come closer again. I had failed the opportunity. Enough! Pitch yelled and lifted his knife against her neck again. Enough talking. I'll kill her if the famous Guardians does not surrender under my powers, he demanded, and after that, all of us could notice that he was very much powerful at the moment, but that all was thanks to Gertrude Dookie thought's powers he has taken from her. I needed to do something fast, but it seemed like I didn't have other choices to make. Fine, I'll surrender, but only if you promise that you won't hurt her anymore. I sighed and dropped on my knees weakly. Bunny, no! Gertrude Dookie thought screamed while Pitch started smirking. Bunnymund, think wisely, the North said while the other Guardians were questioning the options. You'll find another love to your life, but think about all the children in the world. No one can replace you, Bunny, Jack Frost yelled. Even if his words hurt me, I knew that he was kinda right. But even if the children of the world were really important, I just couldn't be the happy Easter Bunny if the love of my life was dead. No, I'll never find love again if I lose her, I yelled back at him. There's nothing in my life again if she gets killed. I just can't lose her. I'm sorry, mates, I said and dropped my ears down. I knew that I betrayed the promise of the Guardians, the promise that the Guardian always puts the world and the children first. I just betrayed the whole world just to get my own happiness and my girl safe. Oh, how sweet. The furious Easter Bunny surrenders for a weak form changer, Pitch Black said cruelly. No! Bunnymund, you can't do this! Gertrude Dookie thought screamed, and she was crying now. Pitch, I'm begging you, stop this nonsense and let them go. I'll be right by your side if you promise me that you won't hurt them anymore. She cried and turned to look at the boogeyman. I just sat there on my knees and looked at everyone weakly. I just didn't have other choices. I loved her so badly. And then everything happened so fast. No one could have done anything to prevent it to happen. Pitch glared at her before he said, Too late. and right after that he formed his magical black sand into a couple of huge arrows and shoot them right on her and me. Gertrude Dookie fought, screamed in pain, and so did I, before I collapsed onto the ground weakly. I felt my whole body burning while Pitch sucked my powers out of me. The arrows did it for him, which meant that Gertrude Dookie Fart's last powers were sucked out too. I tried to fight back, but he was so powerful that my trying didn't have any kind of result. I knew that this meant end for me and Gertrude Dookie Fart. I hoped that if we were dying, we would end up in heaven together. But then I noticed that my form just changed from the huge warrior to the shape of tiny pet bunny. Meanwhile, Gertrude Dookie Fart's soul got totally shattered in pieces as a sign of all of her powers were gone. I had totally failed, and now Gertrude Dookie Fart had died. Why was I alive? Why couldn't I have died together with her? End of that chapter. Holy fuck. Ooh, chapter 20. Oh my god, more of the Bunnymund. More of the Bunnymund. Oh my god. Water. Because I have more Australian accent to do. Oh, they added a picture in this chapter. How lovely. They had multiple pictures. How long is this gonna take me to read? I don't know. Blah. Okay, sorry. It's just... I want this to be over already. Like, oh my god, we're getting there. Let me actually see how many. Sorry, we're getting closer to the end. We're on chapter 26. We're on chapter 26. So we are on 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. We have 5 chapters left. Holy fuck. We're almost there. Almost. We can do this. Hopefully. Let's go. Bunnymund's POV, which means more Australian and more of my poor throat dying on me. So there's that. It took a few minutes from me and the other guardians to realize that Gertrude Dookie Fart was completely gone. When I finally realized it, the anger took the control. You! I growled and looked at the ground. You son of a bitch! You murderer! I started furious, yelling and jumping towards Pitch Black. But then I realized that I had lost my powers and was at the shape of a tiny bunny again. And instead of jumping, I was hopping. I'm gonna burp again. Blah, blah, blah. Then I heard some evil laughter from the man I hated most. What are you going to do? Kill me with your cuteness? Pitch Black laughed and then called his nightmare horses to stand around him. I was about to answer him, but then I felt someone's hands around me before they lifted me up. Hey, what do you think you are doing? I yelled and then noticed that the other guardians took their places in front of me. Meanwhile, Jack Frost lifted me on his right shoulder. You are too weak to fight right now. I'm sorry, buddy, he said, and then made some ice shelter around the Gertrude Dookie Fart's tiny flower. I have a picture of some very blurry flower. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Okay, apparently it's actually from the movie, but like, whatever, I don't care. They're suddenly adding pictures now. Woo! Material good. Anyways. Blah, blah, blah. And before you are trying to protect your rights, I know what you are going through, Bunny, but you know it by yourself too, that you are too weak now for this battle, the North said while taking his swords out. We'll handle this, I promise, Toothiana said, and the Sandman used his magical sand to say the same, and after that he used some of his sand to protect the flower's ice shelter. It took a few more minutes from me to accept the situation. My ears dropped against my back and I sighed deeply. Okay, but promise me that you kick Pitch Black. Bleh! Okay, but promise me that you kick... Why is this so hard to say? Oh my god. Okay, but promise me that you kick Pitch Black's ass properly, Frost, I said, and then hopped inside of his hood. It would be my pleasure. Let's see how long I can do this. Jack just suddenly goes, and everyone thinks he's fucking having a stroke. Okay. Oh, I need more water. Anyways, it would be my pleasure, blah 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 noise. Jack Frost smirked and started to run towards the enemy with the other guardians. It felt so bad that all I could do was just sit inside of his hood while the love of my life was dead. Crawling in my skin, what the fuck? These wounds, they will not heal. Alright. During the impressive fighting, it was hard to stay inside of the Jack Frost's hood because he was moving so fast and the fire was flaming inside of me. I wanted to fight so badly. I wanted my revenge. Who's talking? Frost, when you are close enough to Pitch, throw me to him, I shouted to Jack, who barely heard it because of the other loud sounds of fighting. All of the guardians were fighting against the nightmare horses, and no one got even 1 inch closer to Pitch Black, because now the horses were much stronger because they had Gertrude Dookie Farts, and my powers in them. Never! We can't lose you too, Easter! What, not gonna do the whole long thing you usually do? Nah, don't feel like it. Throat kind of hurts. Understandable, have a nice day. A little ad-libbing for you fellas and ladies out there. Jack Frost growled back at me while freezing some nightmare horses onto their places so the Sandman could use his dream sand to defeat them. You think I would lose to that bastard? He murdered my girl! I shouted back at him, but this time he didn't answer. I climbed from the hood onto his shoulder, and I could easily see from his face that he had heard me. I'll do it myself then, I growled, but when I was about to jump off Jack's shoulders, someone grabbed me from my ears. Actually, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't actually grab a bunny by their ears because apparently it, could damage them. So, North, what the fuck are you doing? You're trying to hurt Bunny right now? What the fuck? Anyways, someone grabbed me from my ears. What the actual hell? I thought it was the North who was preventing me from going, but then I heard Oh, it wasn't North. Apparently it was Pitch. Okay, well, makes sense. Fuck you, Pitch. You know, it's not good for you to grab a bunny by their ears. It can actually hurt them. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's actually true or not, so, yeah. What the actual hell? I thought it was the North who was preventing me from going, but then I heard the familiar evil laughter. And the next Pitch Black had carried me from my ears to some kind of hill where was his throne, and the next of it was much more feminine throne. I guess he had planned that to be Gertrude Dookie Farts. Real talk, how can a throne be feminine? Is it just really pink or something? Because low-key, that's kind of sexist. Anyways, the hell is it going to be, dear Easter Bunny? Pitch Black laughed and didn't let me go from his grip. Pitch, let him go! Toothiana yelled, making others notice the fact that Pitch Black had took me. Pitch, you won't get away. You have already murdered one of us. You shall pay for it. The North yelled, and he was furious too. Don't you dare to call me dear. I growled, and whenever I saw him, I saw red. I was so furious about the fact that he had killed Gertrude Dookyfort. Tut-tut, you are not the one who tells the rules here. He laughed and then tried to tickle my stomach, but I managed to kick his face with my back feet. He groaned, but still didn't let me go. I chuckled a bit when I saw his nose bleeding. The next happened something that no one could ever imagine. Well, actually, I was the only one who saw it because of my senses told me to look towards the tunnel. We had come into the Pitch Black's cave. The others were still trying to figure out how to free me from Pitch's grip. The stones we had seen in the tunnel were glowing, and I noticed that the color of them had changed. I also sensed something new in them, because when we had come here, I sensed just Pitch Black's powers in them, but now there were much more. There was also Gertrude Dookyfort's and my powers in them. I could easily sense it. Ooh, how to burp again, I think. Burp? Burp, question mark? No. And then I saw it. One of the leaves of the Gertrude Dookyfort's flower was laying right on top of the first stone. When looked from here, and the leaf was glowing too in the color of Gertrude Dookyfort's favorite color, like it was sucking in the part of Gertrude Dookyfort powers from the stone. We need to destroy the stones, otherwise there would be no change to defeat Pitch Black. I thought in my mind, and then noticed my boomerang was flying towards me. I swung my tiny body to dodge it and hit it straight into Pitch Black's hand, which made him groan badly and drop me onto the ground. I told you I'll kick his ass! Jack Frost smirked, and I saw him standing on top of his twine tender, which seemed to be strong enough for that. Seemed like Jack Frost had thrown my boomerang. Thanks, mate! I smirked and took the boomerang with me. Go to make that plan happen whenever it even is. The fuck is that sentence? He yelled again, making me nod to him. Toothiana, come with me, I shouted, and the others stayed there to fight against Pitch and the nightmare horses. The leaf really was sucking the powers, because the nightmare horses seemed to be a bit weaker than earlier. What's your plan, Bunny? Toothiana said, and following me. Take me to the tunnel, I shouted to her, with the level of the voice that the others couldn't hear. Then I jumped into the air, and Toothiana grabbed me into her arms. Why you want to leave? I thought you want to have your revenge, Toothiana asked when we arrived into the tunnel. I'm not leaving yet, and I'll have my revenge. I smirked and jumped off her arms next to the stones. See these? We need to destroy them. Pitch's, Gertrude Dookyfort's, and my powers are inside of these stones, I explained, making Toothiana gasp. Are you serious? When did you notice that? She wondered, and then turned to look around the tunnel. There were a huge amount of glowing stones around the walls. All I can say is someone helped me. I smirked and took the leaf from the stone. I handed it to Toothiana. Take care of it. We can't lose it, I said, and looked straight into her eyes. She didn't answer me, but I was sure that she understood what I meant. She put the leaf gently inside of her bag. When did she have a fucking bag? And then started to destroy the stones, even if it was easier said than done. While we were destroying the stones, the others were still fighting against our enemy. We didn't have much time, otherwise Pitch would notice what we were doing. And I was sure that when we managed to destroy the first stone, he could sense it too, because I heard him groaning in pain. Protect the stones! He yelled to his horses, but I could hear the North commanding the other guardians to protect the tunnel no matter what. Now the good side was stronger than the bad side, because the Sandman had also managed to take control of some of the nightmare horses and turn them to good. We need to be quick! We don't have much time! I shouted to Toothiana, who was destroying the stones at the other side of the tunnel. It's not that easy. There are too many of them. She sighed deeply while I managed to destroy the other one. And every time we managed to destroy one, I got part of my powers back. Then we need to destroy all of them at once. I thought out loud while jumping along the tunnel. What did you say, Bunnymund? Toothiana said when I jumped to her. We need to destroy all of them at once. I said and looked at the ceiling. How we are supposed to do that? I don't have my tiny teeth warriors with us, so there are just two of us against these, she said and kicked furiously one of the stones, which shattered immediately. That made both of us jump a bit. I thought the ceiling was the weakest point, I said when I noticed a huge crack from the floor where the stone was to the ceiling. If we break the ceiling, the tunnel falls and every one of us gets stuck in here, Toothiana said worriedly. We have the globe and my tunnels to travel away from here. Don't worry, I said and destroyed one stone more. Then that one helped me to get enough of my powers back to make me grow big again. Right after that, Toothiana hugged me tightly. Glad to have you back, she smiled, making me smile. Glad to have me back too, but we still don't know, is it possible to help Gertrude Dookiefot? I said, making her lift her hands on my cheeks. She looked straight into my eyes and said, we will help her. But now, we need to help the world. Those words made me nod to her, and then we did all we could to make the crack bigger. After that, it expanded to the ceiling, and the tunnel started shaking. Well done, I said, and tapped the ground so the tunnel appeared under us. This is so boring. Toothiana and I used it to escape from the collapsing tunnel. We arrived just in time to the cave when the tunnel collapsed and the stones got destroyed. We turned to look at the fighting scene. I need some more water. And saw that the other guardians had circled the pitch black. There was no nightmare horses either. We joined the other guardians while Pitch Black was yelling in pain. You little shithead! You'll never win me, and I am the darkness! He yelled while falling on his knees. We won you already. You are beaten, Pitch Black. The world does not need the darkness. I growled to him while crossing my arms. After that, Pitch Black slowly fell into a fetal position while yelling in pain. I will return, he said before turning into ashes. Blah blah blah. Where the fuck was I? I will return, he said before turning into ashes. The ashes flew into the air, and the Sandman made sure they were all destroyed too. Those words were Pitch Black's last words. Now the world would be free from him. It's finally done! At least the fight is, not for this fanfiction, unfortunately. Jack Frost said and sighed deeply. We should head back to the North Pole. All of us need some rest, especially you, Bunnymund, the North said before hugging me tightly. I'm so happy to have you back, he said, making me chuckle. I'll never went anywhere, I said while hugging him back. But thanks to all of you, I said, and then turned to look at the flower of Gertrude Dookiefot. Then the barrage broke. I started crying, and I wasn't the only one. All of us were crying. Even if we were happy that we won Pitch Black, we were also sad about losing Gertrude Dookiefot. We should take her with us, Toothiana said, and then we heard some warning sound from the cave. It was about to collapse too. And we need to be quick before it's too late to leave, Jack Frost said, and I started digging the flower out of the ground. I dug it gently because I didn't want to harm it. When I was holding the flower with all of its roots and some ground in my paws, I tapped my right back foot to the ground. Why? The North asked and looked at me. I want to take her to the Warren, I said sadly while tears were dropping down to the leaves of the flower. I understand. We'll go with you, Toothiana said, and then all of us jumped into the hole. and at the warren, I carried the flower to the cherry trees. The others were following me quietly. This place is beautiful. Now we all have a place where we can remember her and all the moments with her, Tutiana said while all of us were crying again. We had a small funeral for Gertrude Dukifot, where I planted the flower to the ground. At there, Tutiana took the leaf out of her bag and placed it on top of the flower as a sign that Gertrude Dukifot's memory was now fully. I still think we should get rest at the North Pole, the North said quietly while I was just looking sadly at the flower. I'd stay here with her. I sighed and then felt Jack Frost's hand on my shoulder. Then Tutiana lifted her hand on my other one. We'll never leave you, buddy, Jack Frost said before all the guardians came to hug me. Blah blah blah, who's talking? I can come later to the pole. I would like to stay a while alone with her, I said after they let me go from the hug. We understand, and it's totally understandable. Come when you are ready, the North said, and was about to hand me a globe, but I denied it because I'd easily use my tunnels to go there like always. I weakly smiled to them before they left. After that, I lay down next to the flower and closed my eyes. I felt Gertrude Dukifot's aura near me, like she was seriously here, but I knew that couldn't be true. It didn't take much for me to fall asleep next to the flower, losing my powers, fighting without them, getting them back while losing the love of my life took very much energy from me. I was tired as hell, and sleeping was the best way to deal with hard things. But it didn't take long. It didn't take long when I woke up because something paranormal happened. Paranormal? The flower started glowing with Gucci? I keep wanting to say Gucci. Gertrude Dukifot's favorite color, like her aura was. Well, what is her favorite color? I'm gonna make it doo-doo green. Her favorite color is doo-doo green. Specifically doo-doo green. My throat. Well, we gotta keep going. Like her aura was. Because I don't want to do a part 3. Fuck no, I just want to get this all done in one go. Like her aura was. Then there was some kind of small explosion, which threw me few meters away from the flower. Just fucking imagining him just fucking getting yeeted. What on earth? I gasped, and then heard someone's coughing. I'm happy to see you too, Bunnymund, familiar voice said, and when the dust cleared, I saw Gertrude Dukifot standing weakly right there where the flower was a moment ago. How could she be alive? Who knows? Your point of view. Yay, no more fucking Australian for now. Your point of view. Anyways, let's go. The situation was horrible. Bunnymund was ready to sacrifice himself for me. But neither me could live if he dies. I didn't even know how our babies felt all of this. Could there even be a chance for them to survive? Your babies felt nothing because they're just fucking embryos. Just saying. Because I highly doubt she's even close to being near her. They've literally dated for, like, I'm assuming what is a couple of weeks. So her babies cannot possibly be that fucking old. Just saying. Anyways. Pitch, I'm begging you. Stop this nonsense and let them go. I'll be right by your side if you promise me that you won't hurt them anymore. I cried and turned to look at Pitch Black. I could sense that Bunnymund sat there on my knees and looked at everyone. And the way he looked at everyone seemed like he was hurt and weak. I had known Pitch Black so long that I knew him very well. Even if he felt horrible things about all of this, I could never believe that he truly would kill me. He loved me, but I never felt the same for him. He had raised me and taught me everything, so I was very thankful to him, but nothing more. I had helped him to escape earlier, but now I was by the good side, and I needed to think the whole world. While I was watching Pitch Black deeply in his eyes, I noticed a totally new expression of him. I had hurt him like the way that no one had ever did before. Even if I begged him to stop, I knew that this was the end. Then everything happened so fast, no one could have done anything to prevent it to happen. Yay, we're repeating things over and over again, because that's totally not annoying. Pitch's expression changed, and he glared at me before he said, "Too late." And right after that, he had formed his magical black sand into a couple of huge arrows and shoot them right on me and then on Bunnymund. I felt a huge amount of pain, which caused me screaming, and I heard the Bunnymund was doing the same. Then I heard him collapsing onto the ground. I didn't even know what happened to him. Was he even alive? I felt my whole body burning like hell, while Pitch sucked my powers out of me. The arrows did it for him, which meant both of us, Bunnymund's and my powers, were sucked out. But I didn't even have much left anymore, which meant that I was going to die. I really hoped that Bunnymund would survive somehow, because the world needed him more than me. So I did what I could. Just before I died, I concentrated all of my powers and sent them by using the connection of Pitch Black and his arrows to Bunnymund, just to make sure that he could have even a small change of surviving. Right after that, I felt my soul shattering. "Gosh, that hurt a lot," I said a few minutes later. Then I saw everyone around and I gasped loudly. "Didn't I just die a moment ago?" I said, and the situation felt very much horrifying. I lifted my hands on my face, but then I noticed that I didn't feel anything. I didn't even have a physical form, and I was flying? What? I turned around to look at everyone, but then I saw it, a flower, right there where I was before my soul shattered. I felt connection to it, so I guess that was me, somehow. Blah, blah, blah. Just another image of a flower. You. I heard Bunnymund's growling near me. When I turned to look at him, I was firstly happy that he was alive, but then I noticed that he was a little bunny. It seemed like he had lost all of his powers, but I had managed to give him some of mine that let him stay alive. "You son of a bitch! You murderer!" Bunnymund started yelling and jumping towards Pitch Black, even if his steps was very short. But for now, even if his form wasn't his real one, his personality hadn't changed at all. Conversely, it just maximized. "Bunnymund, I'm here!" I tried to shout at him that I was still here, but he didn't hear me. No one did. "Toothiana, Jack, North, Sandy?" I sighed after I had tried everything to get even someone to notice me. "Pitch!" I yelled and tried to punch his face, but I just flew through it, and he didn't notice me either. Even his nightmare horses didn't notice me at all. Seems like I'm just air then. I sighed deeply and slowly petted the flower. Even if I didn't have physical form, I could easily feel the tension in the air. Then I heard Pitch's laughter. And I turned to look at him. "What are you gonna do? Kill me with your cuteness?" Water. Oh my god. Agua. Oh god, this hurts. He laughed. He laughed and then called his nightmare horses to stand around him. Then I turned to look at Bunnymund, who was about to attack his enemy, but Jack Frost lifted him up. "Hey, what do you think you are doing?" Bunnymund yelled, and then the other guardians took their places in front of him. Meanwhile, Jack Frost lifted him on his shoulder. "You are too weak to fight right now. I'm sorry, buddy," he said, and then made some ice shelter around my tiny flower. I smiled at Jack about it, even though he couldn't see it. "Thank you, Jack," I said, and then moved my spiritual appearance to behind Jack and Bunnymund. After everyone had made sure for Bunnymund that he needed to stay safe now, I saw his ears dropping down his back, and he sighed deeply. "Okay, but promise me that you kick Pitch Black's ass properly, Frost. He said, and then hopped inside of his hood. Gosh, that sight looked so cute. It would be my pleasure. How long are you gonna do that for? You'll see. Okay, we're done. Okay, I'm done. Jack Frost smirked and started to run towards the enemy with the other guardians. When the battle started, I got some kind of vision. I saw everyone attacking each other's, but then my vision got all white. Pitch Black was laying on the ground and he was dying. Then I heard someone talking, but I couldn't recognize the voice. It's just a voice, so I don't know what to say. Gertrude Dookie Fart, if you want to save your and Bunnymund's children, Pitch Black must give his last powers and his appearance to one of your children. The voice said, which made me gasp, but Pitch Black is pure evil! I shouted, even if I didn't know who I was talking with. I saw no one there who could be talking with that kind of voice. White cannot survive without black. Yin needs yang. Good needs bad. Everything needs the other side to have the balance. The voice continued wisely. I sighed deeply, and the decision was horrible. What if I let my children die and Pitch Black dies too? I forced the horrible words out of me. The world, as you know it, will be doomed. The voice answered, so, the only choice is that I let him to survive. But what about my children? Could the one live with the evil power? I started sobbing. Even if without physical form, there were no tears. Only time shows it, but you need to make the decision now. The voice said, and the whiteness started to clear slowly. I saw Pitch Black dying again, and then I heard him talking. He didn't use his mouth to talk, so I guess it was some kind of telepathy. Like I said, it's gonna be Pitch, I guess. Could you really kill your children, Gertrude Dookie Fart? He said without any kind of emotion in his voice. The second flower in your appearance means that you have a change to save your children. The voice said again, making me cry. I guess I didn't have any other choices. I needed to save my family, but also the world, which sadly meant that one of the children's future will be doomed with evilness. I guess. Fine, I'll do it. I'll let Pitch Black to give his powers and his appearance to one of my children, just to save my family and the world. I shouted and cried. I felt so... I'm sorry, I'm just a little... My throat hurts a lot. I shouted and cried. I felt so heartbroken about this. Right after that, the whiteness disappeared and I saw the battling going on again. The voice wasn't talking to me anymore, and there was no dying boogeyman near me. Even if the decision ate me from the inside, I knew I didn't have any other choices to make. But also, I could never tell the truth about saving Pitch Black to Bunnymund and the other guardians. Now I had saved him twice, and with what cost? As a mother, I could never sacrifice my children. Gosh, I felt so horrible about everything. The next, I saw Bunnymund in trouble. Pitch Black was holding him from his ears and he was yelling like he was going to be eaten. And even if I didn't know what had just happened, I knew that I had to help him somehow. Then I saw it. Bunnymund's boomerang was lying on the ground near Jack Frost. I went to my flower and forced my airy appearance to go into one of the leaves. I sensed some of my powers was still in there, and I ripped the leaf off the flower. After that, I moved myself in the form of leaf out of the small ice and sand shield. I knew that Pitch Black had to seal his powers to the stones when he lost the guardians first time. I had to help him with it, so I knew the way that they would be destroyed. That would defeat him properly. but for first I needed to help Bunnymund to get himself free. So I used the air drought. Oh, my ass hurts. I gotta move my seating a little bit, sorry. So I used the air drought to get myself fly right in front of Jack Frost to get his attention. And gladly he noticed Leaf Me flying to the boomerang. He got the message and took it. I saw him throwing it towards the Pitch Black and Bunnymund, which I had planned to happen. Meanwhile, I continued my very odd way of flying towards the tunnel. I also tried to contact Bunnymund with my small amount of powers. But I didn't know if it worked or not, so I thought I saw something or not, so I had just begged it to work. At the tunnel, I landed on one of the stones, and I used all I got to suck their powers in me. That meant the color changed because my aura penetrated in them. Oh, okay. I also could feel that Pitch Black had stored my and Bunnymund's powers into the stones. I'd counted on that. Now I was taking back what belonged to me. A few minutes later, I heard Bunnymund and Toothiana arriving into the tunnel. I heard them talking about the stones and the powers being in them. Are you serious? When did you notice that? Toothiana wondered out loud. All I can say is someone helped me. Bunnymund smirked and had just got myself ready when he lifted the Leaf Me from the stone. He handed me to Toothiana. Take care of it. We can't lose it, he said and looked straight into her eyes. I was so glad that my plan was working and Bunnymund had noticed me. Even if Toothiana didn't say anything, I guess she had understood the situation. She put me gently inside of her bag before both of them started to destroy the stones. And inside the bag, I didn't hear much of what happened outside. But I was sure that Pitch would notice they're trying to destroy the stones, and he probably would do everything to stop them. All I could do now was just to beg the universe to be by our side. Even if I didn't hear much about their talking, I could feel Toothiana's movements by the bag's moves. Honestly, I didn't enjoy myself being inside a bag, but I had to say that it was cozy for a Leaf. But when she started to run or actually fly out of the tunnel, I couldn't prevent the Leaf Me from moving and hitting the walls of the bag. I was about to lose my grip from the Leaf. But then Toothiana stopped moving, and I sensed that the battle was over. So I removed my airy appearance from the Leaf and flew to the beaten Pitch Black. Then I did what I had promised. I sucked his powers in me just to save him, my children, and the whole world. And by that, I knew that Pitch Black sensed my appearance and what I was doing. He started to yell in pain while he fell on fetal position. I saw a smirk on his face, and he knew I was there for him. I will return, he said before I used my form-changing powers to turn his appearance to ash, just to make sure that everyone would believe that he had died. In reality, I had sucked himself in me, and he had melted himself into one of my children. That is really weird, but alright. From my razor to one of my children, I thought myself before I moved myself back into the flower. This plot is so fucking weird and doesn't make sense, but alright. When all of the Guardians were enjoying their victory, I knew that I could never tell the truth to them, not even to Bunnymund, even if he was now father for the child that has Pitch Black's powers. After that, the Guardians came back to my flower, and I heard everything they talked about me, and that Bunnymund being heartbroken. I was so happy that he got his powers back, and his truly form too. I tried to use my powers to change me from the flower back to myself. I wanted to tell everyone that I was still alive, but something was missing. The leaf! Bunnymund took the flower me into his arms, and they used his traveling holes to go to the warren. And during the funeral they got for me, I started to feel really sad and desperate. Did they really forget the leaf inside of Toothiana's bag? That would mean that I'm trapped into this flower, and they'll never know that I'm alive. Luckily, at the end of the funeral, Toothiana placed the leaf on top of the flower, so now I was fully. Immediately she had done that, I started to prepare myself to get my real appearance back. But that could take a while. I also sensed familiar aura around me, which was very weird, and that shouldn't even be possible. Wait, where was I? Sorry, I had to take a break. Shouldn't even be possible, I think. Others had already left when I started to be ready to transform. Bunnymund had stayed there, and he was laying right next to the flower. He had just fell asleep when I finally managed to free my appearance back to the physical one. The explosion that had came from the very hard transformation flew Bunnymund a few meters away from me. At the physical form, I also could feel the babies in my womb better, and I felt the same familiar again, but this time inside my womb. It was pitch black. He helped me to come back alive and then took his form as my new baby. What on earth? Wait, mate, what on earth? Bunnymund gasped while I was coughing of the dust. I'm happy to see you too, Bunnymund, I said and smiled weakly. When the dust cleared, I saw him and his jaw was dropped. He couldn't believe this to be true, and neither did I. But gosh, I felt myself weak after everything that had happened lately. Let's see, chapter 28, 3 more of this shit. Oh my god, we're getting close. We're getting close. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Author's point of view. Gertrude Dookie fought. Bunnymund yelled worriedly when you were about to fell on the ground. He managed to caught you before you hit the ground, so you fell on his arms. Are you okay? How are you alive in here? He was about to go nuts, and he thought he was still sleeping. You coughed a couple times before saying, I'm just so tired. I want to sleep. You managed to say before you fell asleep. Bunnymund sighed and still couldn't handle the situation, but all he could do was to lift you with bridal style and carry you to his underground nest. He placed you on the hay bed and crawled next to you. He tried to stay awake so he could guard your sleep, but he was still so tired, so he fell asleep right next to you. Ugh. Had to drink a fuck ton of water because voice cracking a lot. Anyways, time skip the next day, your point of view. Oh, I thought I was gonna burp. Am I gonna burp? Hold on. I don't know. It's not. I feel like I'm about to, but it's not actually happening, so... Kinda. Ugh, there it is. Anyways, time skip the next day. Your POV. When I finally woke up again, I noticed that I was laying on the hay bed in Bunnymund's nest. It felt like I was newborn, which actually at some point in it, I stretched my bag by leaning forward while laying on my stomach. After that, I got up and stretched my arms. Then I noticed that Bunnymund wasn't lying next to me. Bunnymund? Bunnymund? I asked shyly. One thought had filled my mind. What if this was one of Pitch Black's nightmares when I get out of the nest? I see horrible things at the warren. Everything, even thinking the worst, made my body shiver and I gasped in panic. Bunnymund! I shouted and I felt myself really scared. What? Mate, what is it? Gertrude Dookie fought. Are you okay? Bunnymund said and jumped in the nest. He hurried his way to hug me tightly. I just ended up crying in his arms. I thought... I sobbed while he whipped my tears away. Is the victory really true? Did it really happen? I continue making him sigh deeply. Yes, it is. But are you okay? What caused you to yell in panic? He asked worriedly and then kissed my forehead. I think I am, and I just... You weren't here when I woke up, and I thought the worst. I sobbed and hugged him tightly. He chuckled and patted my head. Oh, Gertrude Dookie fought. I was making breakfast for us, and I was bringing it to you when I heard you yelling. Wait a sec. He smiled and jumped off the nest, and he came back with the breakfast he had made for us. Oh, how sweet. I smiled and kissed him before we started eating the breakfast. Time skip after breakfast. Gertrude Dookie Fart told Bunnymund what happened her during the last battle, author's POV. So it really was you who showed me the stones, Bunnymund said and drank some water. Yeah, and I'm happy that Jack noticed your boomerang in time. You smiled and crawled to lay on Bunnymund's lap. You nuzzled your head against his stomach, making him purr cutely. Alright, so you saved me. Thank you, Bunnymund said, and then leaned to kiss you deeply. Ooh. I had to. You are the love of my life that I technically barely know. You blushed, and right after that felt his lips against yours. You stole the words right from my mouth, Shayla, Bunnymund said before you kissed him back. You smiled to him and then said, Should we go to see others? They don't know that I'm alive. Even thinking about seeing the others after what happened was weird, but also very much the thing you wanted right now. The Guardians felt like new family to you. I think you are right, but what if we enjoy that first? Oh no. Drinking a gulp of water because these two whores are thirsty. I didn't know this was a whorehouse type thing. Anyways, I think you're all right, but what if we enjoy that first? Bunnymund said, and then started to kiss you neck hungrily. I know what you are up to. You smirked and laid down on your back while Bunnymund climbed over you while kissing. But you know that I'm still weak after what happened, you said while trying to calm down. Yeah, I know. He sighed and sat up. He dropped his ears down and he looked like he was ashamed of the way he acted. You sighed deeply and sat up too. I know you have missed me. I have missed you too. But I'm just not ready for that yet, you said, and then kissed his cheek. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I should have thought that better, he said and looked into your eyes. The way he looked at you made your heart melt. I love you, Bunnymund, you said, making his heart melt. You could see that from his reaction. He hugged you tightly and then said, I love you too, Gertrude Dookie-Fought. After that, both of you got out of the nest and went to the traveling portals. Bunnymund opened one of them so you two could go to the North Pole. I can't wait to see their reactions, you smirked, making Bunnymund grin too, while you two were running along the traveling tunnels. At the North Pole, your point of view. It's to Theana. It's not easy to enjoy about the victory when one of us has died. I heard Theana sighing when Bunnymund and I entered inside of the workshop. Shh! I whispered to Bunnymund when he was about to dash into the hall. Let's surprise them! I whispered into his ear, making him smirk and nod to me. How? He formed with his mouth, but then both of us heard Jack Frost talking. Firstly, Gertrude Dookie-Fought wasn't one of us, or actual guardian. She was just Easter Bunny's girlfriend, he said, making North growl to his words. Even if she wasn't real guardian, she was one of us. Without her, we would have never got to learn about Pitch Black's plans, new powers, and his hiding place, the North said, and then Bunnymund walked behind the corner to the hall. I face-palmed and sighed. Even if I knew that his temperature is what it is, but still, he would have had himself calm down. I would have wanted to surprise them other than this. Okay, in grammar. And without Gertrude Dookie-Fought, we would have never won Pitch Black, Bunnymund said, making every one of the other guardians turn to look at him. Bunny! No, it was more lighter. Bunny! Theana said, and from her voice I could notice that she was happy to see Bunnymund. I'm sorry, Easter. I didn't mean it that way, Jack said, and tried to protect himself. Sandman followed the discussion and said his very opinion with gentle attitude. He thought that everyone had their own points, and he kind of agreed with all of them. You are just jealous that you didn't get her, Frost, Bunnymund rolled his eyes and crossed his arms. I had heard Jack Frost chuckling, but then Toothiana poked his shoulder to make sure he didn't say anything to make the situation worse. How are you? I'm happy to see you are here again, the North said and half changed the subject. Actually, I have a surprise to all of you, Bunnymund said and then tapped the floor with his right back foot. I understand his message for me, and I walked behind the corner. Just before I arrived in their sight, Jack Frost managed to say, "What surprise?" But when all of them saw me, their jaws dropped and they gasped loudly. Bunnymund wrapped his arms around my waist and kissed my cheek, making me smile brightly. How? What? When? Why? Jack Frost stuttered and didn't get any more words out of his mouth. How can you be alive? The North managed to ask, but then Toothiana hurried to hug me tightly. Gertrude Dookie Fart! She started crying about how happy she was that I was alive. Oh my goodness! Aren't you just popular? It took a while for Bunnymund and I to explain everything that had happened. Everyone hugged me first, but then Bunnymund wanted to tell them everything. After I told him everything in my point of view, which is a lot longer of a story to tell, and when I got my powers back and my physical appearance back, I also found out that I'm still pregnant, I said happily, and then lifted my paws onto my stomach while sitting on a bench next to Bunnymund. You are? He jumped when he realized the situation. Yes, I am. I blushed, and then he hugged me tightly. Gosh, you make me even happier. He cheered and kissed me after it. I kissed him back and then leaned my head against his shoulder. Others came to hug us too. Congratulations! Everyone said when it was their turn. Jack Frost were the last one. And even if he was happy too, I sensed that he was also a bit jealous. Right? Because that whole love triangles thing. And the thing is, what bothers me is that they introduced this whole kind of love triangle with like YN, Bunny, and Jack Frost, but then they never do anything with it besides that one conflict that happened in one chapter a while ago, and that was that. They didn't really do shit about it other than mention it here and there, and that's it. There was more of they shouldn't have even included it. They should have just left the love triangle between Pitch Black, Easter Bunny, and YN. Why have Jack there? It literally made no sense at all, and it came out of nowhere, and they barely did anything with it, so it was just dumb, in my opinion. So, whatever, let's keep going. We're getting really close to the end, so let's definitely keep going so I can finish this and die. Alright, where was I? Blah, 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 blah. He was a bit jealous for no reason. It was dumb. Anyways, while everyone continued cheering their victory again, because now it seemed to feel tons of better when I was live and we were going to have family with Bunnymund, one big thought filled my mind. I could never tell them the truth about the baby bunnies, especially one of them who was now Pitch Black's reincarnation with all of his powers and part of his appearance. Pitch Black was alive again, and it took his place to be one of our children. How could I ever tell them the truth about it, especially to Bunnymund? If the truth comes out, they would have to battle against our own child, or worse, the child's future would be doomed in the way or other. Goddamn. So sad. Oh my god, we're on chapter 29. Oh my god, we're getting closer. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is almost over. Oh my god, please. Okay, time skip in the end of the pregnancy. Author's POV. Gertrude Dookie Fart, are you okay? Toothiana yelled after you had fell on the ground while breathing heavily. Yeah, I am. It's just contraction. It'll be over soon. You panted and slowly sat up. Are you sure? She helped you to sat up before sitting next to you. Believe me, I'm fine, you said, and then lifted your paws on your grown stomach. Both of you wanted to have Girls' Day after so long. After the so-called victory, all of the guardians had to get back to their own jobs, and now there was some free days when all of you could gather together and have some fun. Especially that time was needed before your and Bunnymund's children are here. After that, your pause would be filled with work. Okay, she smiled and then hugged you. But say immediately if there's something wrong or you need anything. She hustled, making you sigh frustratingly. You glared at her, making her lift her hands up. You start to sound like Bunnymund. You laughed, making her laugh too. After that small break, she helped you to get up, and both of you continued picking some flowers since you were at a huge flower meadow. How many children you are waiting for? Do you know it? Toothiana asked after a small amount of silence. You started, but then she cut you off. I just thought that you are waiting more than one baby, she said, and you could see that she was embarrassed about what she said. I do know that I look like a blue whale with this stomach. That is a really weird comparison. But I'd appreciate more if you say what you are thinking instead of hiding things from me. You said, but one thing filled your mind. Like said, hiding things shouldn't be a problem since Pitch is still alive, and I didn't tell it to anyone. You thought yourself inside again. Are you sure you are okay? I see something worries you, Toothiana said, and tried to change the subject. You definitely didn't want to tell the truth, what made you so worried and also kind of nervous. 7, you said, and started to make a flower crown. Excuse me? Toothiana said, and then walked to sit next to you after you had sat under a large tree. I'm waiting for 7 baby bunnies, you said, and blushed a bit. Oh my god! 7? She was about to freak out. Shout a little bit more louder, please. You laughed while doing the flower crown. It was kind of clumsy to do with paws, but since you were in the end of your pregnancy, it was risky to change your form before giving birth. I guess. It took a while for Toothiana to understand what you had just said to her. Oh my god, you two are going to have a huge family. Congrats again. She came to hug you again. You hugged her, it says him, back, and then sighed. Thank you, and I'm really happy to have a huge family with Bunnymund, but he doesn't know the amount yet. So would you please keep it a secret? Oh my god, this next sentence. You begged, making her roll her eyes. You two are such horny fellas. She laughed, making you laugh again. Okay, I had to take a little break and do some tasks, chores, whatever. Where were we? Oh my god, you two are going to have a large family, blah blah blah. So no, blah blah. Oh yeah, horny fellas, lovely. Hold on, I gotta run upstairs. Alright. She sighed, making you laugh again. But right after that, you got contraction again, and this time it was much worse. It caused you scream in pain. And Toothiana had to use emergency call for the other guardians while she tried to carry you to somewhere safe. Look, I don't know shit about pregnancy, but isn't when you're going into labor / you're having contractions, so when she had contractions for the first time, shouldn't they have already been oh my god, baby's coming soon? Why did they just decide to sit there and do flower crowns as if she wasn't about to give birth? That's what confuses me, unless I know nothing about pregnancy, but I don't care to know because I'm not gonna have children. Okay. You read that? Okay, so time skip during labor. Author's point of view, fun. We get to see labor happen. We get to see a bunny sort of thing give birth. Love that. Well, hold on one sec. I need to put my Chromebook on charger really quick, so let me pause. Okay, we back. Sorry, I thought I heard someone call my name. Anyways, okay, so author's point of view. Toothiana and some other staff were helping you to give birth to your 7 children. But what other staff? What the fuck do they mean by staff? Whatever. because I highly doubt these magical critters decided to go into a regular human hospital to give birth to these 7 children. Whatever. Giving birth to your 7 children, Bunnymund was so nervous that you had told him to go out of the room. His nervous levels were just making you feeling more worse, so it would be the best that he went outside to calm down, even if it was easier to say than done. Okay. Third is out. You need to continue pushing, Gertrude Dookie Fart. You are doing good, one of the temporary doctors said. You were about to cry because it hurt so much, but luckily it was quickly done. All of them got out easily without any kind of problems. You were also told that all of them were doing good and that they were healthy. Congratulations, Gertrude Dookie Fart. Toothiana cried and hugged you while you were panting heavily. I'll go let the father in now. She smiled. Thank you, you said weakly while laying on your other side. All of your babies were eating calmly. You were so happy right now, and nothing could ruin your happiness for now. Gertrude Dookie Fart. Bunnymund hurried his way to you immediately when he was told that he could go to see his new family. Bunnymund! You sighed when you saw him, and he came to kiss you deeply. The children are right there. The fuck? Don't do that. And kissed you deeply. You were still panting when he turned to look at his children. Please, the children. Avert your eyes. They are so beautiful. I'm so proud of you. He smiled, and you could easily see that he was happy too. After you closed your eyes because you were so tired after giving birth to 7 baby bunnies, yeah, I would imagine. Giving birth to 1 child is something. 7 in one go, Jesus Christ. You didn't even know how much you managed to sleep before you heard someone talking. Why one of them has black fur when you guys are white and gray? I almost thought that said white and gay. Anyways, Jack Frost said, and the tone was kind of nasty. It totally was. He didn't totally sound like he was on crack. That's not... It reminds me about Pitch. He continued, making you open your eyes fast. You started growling immediately to him. Get out, you growled, and looked at him like you were about to attack him. Gertrude Dookie Fart, calm down, Toothiana said, and she was a bit worried about you after you reacted that way. Get out, you yelled at Jack, who looked terrified. See, again, reminder, Jack is like 14. Don't be mean to the baby. Looked terrified. Anyway, and so did the others too, except Bunnymund. Fucking loser. If anyone else has something against my babies, he didn't have anything against your babies. He kind of had a fair point questioning why one of them was black. No, that sounded wrong. No. What I meant to say is he kind of had a point questioning why one of them had black fur, while all the others were white and gray, and the parents did not have black fur either. So, he never said, he literally never said anything. He didn't, bad. He literally, okay, maybe the Pitch comment was dumb, but I know they're only doing that because of the whole Pitch got reincarnated as YN's baby, which... that's a whole other thing. It's just, he didn't even say anything. He pointed out something valid, why does it have black fur when the parents are not? I don't think he was trying to okay, well, maybe the tone being kind of nasty was something. I kind of forgot that, but it's not like he went and said, oh, your baby ugly as fuck. To be honest, if he said that, I still wouldn't have cared, because fuck YN. She's a bitch. I don't stand Gertrude Dookie Fart, and I don't stand Easter Bunny in this fanfiction. Regular Easter Bunny is fine, but in this fanfiction, he is... I want to punch him. He's very punchable. He's very punchable in this fanfiction. I'd love to punch this version of him. All other versions are valid. YN... Okay, have you ever met a likable YN? If you know what I mean, have you ever read a Wattpad X Reader thing, and never found a likable one because they're always bitchy, in my opinion. The authors, the ones I've always read, have always made the YNs bitchy as fuck for no reason. Just saying. Anyways, done with my rant. Let's actually get this done, because we're almost done with this chapter, and then we have one more, and we're all good. Okay, she bitchy YN yelled at innocent baby boy Jack. Blah blah blah. Anyways, if anyone else has something against my babies, I'll kick their ass, and they will regret their words in their very own grave. You growled. Someone's mother instincts have woke up, Bunnymund said, and then kissed you to calm down. I'd literally take a shot for every time they solve their problems by kissing instead of communicating as a couple. How dare he even say something like that? My son doesn't remind pitch black at all. I love each of them. You were still growling, and changed your position so you were protecting your children more. You know, Jack Frost, if such a jerk, don't care about him. I love all of our children too, Bunnymund said, and then turned to look at children again. I think every single one of them are beautiful, but do you have black or light pink colors in your family? Because I do not, and the color of the fur is very much heritable thing, so shouldn't them be more white or gray? That is okay, you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? Literally, Jack Frost said the same exact thing, but he gets yelled at, but Bunny doesn't? I'm calling bullshit. This author has a vendetta against Jack Frost, and as a huge Jack Frost stan, we don't fucking stand that in this household. Fuck you. No, I'm joking. Don't be mean to the author. I'm just joking, please. Okay, so shouldn't them be more white or gray? He said, and you could sense that he was worried about something. I do have both colors in my family, even if I'm still form changer. Did you forget that too? You said it and looked at him, even if it's hard because you were lying to him. Your youngest children, your son, is the reincarnation of pitch black. You could never tell the truth to anyone. Never. All you could do is fill all of your children's lives with love and beg from the universe that your youngest son will control their powers, not contrariwise. What the fuck? I've never seen that word before. Blah 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 blah. Oh yeah. Okay. Might. Oh yeah. I mean, how could I ever forget that? But does that have any kind of effect to our children? Are they form changes too? He asked while petting your back gently. I'm not sure. Some of them might have a chance to change their form, but not all of them. And even if some of them manages to do it, it might be risky because they are not 100% form changers. You tried to explain, even if you didn't know the right answer to that either. But one of them has some special powers to change the whole world. You thought yourself while looking at your youngest son. After that, you lifted your head up to face Jack Frost again, who had lifted his hands up. Do you say those words to the colored... Whoa! Oh my god! Holy shit! I don't want to say this. I really... Oh my god. That came out of left fucking field. Like, I mean, should I be surprised that something like that is said in this fan fiction? Holy fuck. But this is genuinely the worst line. This is genuinely the worst fucking few lines I've ever seen in this entire fanfiction, and I thought nothing would be able to beat shit like comparing fur to high school girl panties or like the white beauty thing. Holy fuck. I'm sorry, but like, if you read it for yourself, Holy shit, I am... The girl was too stunned to speak. That is what I'm feeling right. Holy fuck. Because I'm over here reading this and I just... Jesus, like you won't be able to see my face or expressions, obviously, but I'm just, like, wide-eyed, bewildered at the shit I said. I almost want to skip it. It's not, like, it's bad. It's bad. Because author, you can't just... Racism... Yes, I know, it has to do with racism, I know. I didn't think I would ever be saying that there was some mentions of racism and shit like that in a Rise of the Guardians fanfiction, but here we are. I probably am going to read this because it's still part of fanfiction. And if I can read the fucking sex scene, I guess I can do this too. But I will say this. To the author of this fanfiction, look, I don't know if you're a person of color yourself, but if you're not... Look, you can't just throw that into your fanfiction like it's nothing. Especially when you use a certain word. Like, it's not a slur. It's not a slur, but it's a word that in the past has definitely been used, has 100% used as a way to discriminate towards people of color. Or, you know what I mean? It's just, for one, using this, the way you wrote this, first of all, it gave me whiplash, which is not exactly a good thing, especially because I'm not white myself, so seeing that is like, oh, the fuck? Also, by the way, I'm hoping I'm wording this properly. Sometimes I have a hard time explaining things properly, but this is something pretty sensitive, so I'm hoping that I'm explaining this properly and with the utmost care. But like I was saying, to the author, you can't just throw this in so carelessly without even the bit of respect, because I'm gonna be frankly honest, this comes off as very disrespectful. Like, especially when you're using it to compare it to something so... I don't know what the word is. It's being used... It's literally being used as a way to compare to, like, the fucking... The whole fact that Pitch Black is reincarnated into YN's son. It's being used as a way to connect to that, in a sense. You'll say... You would understand what I mean as soon as I read this, but I feel like I need to talk about this first, because... What the fuck? Please, can we not do this? Like I said already, it comes off as very, disrespectful, and I know I'm ranting at this point, and it's really stupid, and I know I'm probably sounding... I know people are gonna look at this and be like, it's not a big deal, and I'm like, I mean, it's not a big deal, it's just... You see this in a fan fiction, a Rise of the Guardians fan fiction of all things, and you don't expect it. And again, is not handled with the utmost care, and it's literally not, it's only used in this instance, and it's kind of like played off as like a joke. Like, it's not exactly a joke, not exactly played off as a joke, but from what I'm like scanning and reading over here, it's used for a comparison it really should not be used for. Like, really shouldn't. Yikes, it really shouldn't. I don't know what else to say, but, and again, like, I don't know what else to say, because it's like, I'm only saying this because I have no idea if the author of this fanfiction, I don't want to assume anything, I have no idea if they're white or not, but like, you know. Either way, just... What the fuck is all I have to say to this, because, again, it's unexpected to see what I'm looking at in a fanfiction and it being used in such a, again, not good way, and it literally having no other relevance to the story as a whole, coming out of left field, kind of being played for a joke when it really shouldn't. So, yeah, I'm kind of done ranting. I probably sound stupid at this point, but I feel like it was important to fucking mention and acknowledge, because it low-key sounds... I hope I don't sound like, you know what I mean by but like, it really does sound a little racist itself. Yeah, that's what it kind of sounds like. Just a tiny bit. Maybe I am blowing this out of proportion. I don't think I am. I just kind of wanted to rant on it because it's like, I'm looking at this and I'm like blinking wildly and I'm like, don't tell me the author actually put that in here. Don't genuinely tell me the author thought, yeah, that's a good idea to throw in here. Anyways, I'm gonna stop ranting. Read this already so you guys understand what I'm actually fucking talking about, and just finish this fanfiction overall, because I'm frankly getting very sick of it at this point. It's actually, we're getting close to 3 hours at this point, and close. We're not there just yet, but we're getting there. And it's only gonna get longer because I'm fucking procrastinating basically by doing this rant. Anyways, we're done. I mean it, guys. This is gonna give you fucking whiplash. And I hope I don't get reported for this. I swear it's not that bad, please. Anyways, after that, you lifted your head up to face Jack Frost again, who had lifted his hands up. Here it is. Prepare yourself. Do you say those words to the colored children of the world? You asked bravely and stared right into his eyes. I feel bad for doing this in the Jack Frost voice because it's really not funny, but definitely not. Do you think I'm a racist or something? Yeah, I know. I don't know if that's gonna be like a woo to other people like it was to me, but it sure as hell was a to me, which is why the rant was there. So let me cut some of it out, like if I don't feel like it matters. No, that sounded bad, but I don't know. I don't know if the rant is necessary, because I feel like I'm not explaining my point too well with it. So I feel embarrassed, but I might ignore me. I get I get so insecure with myself over the dumbest shit. Let's keep going with this mess already. He panicked and then sighed. I'm sorry about what I said. It was horrible. But definitely should not be compared to actual racism. What the fuck, Arthur? He admitted. You are one of the guardians, so act like it, and an apology accepted. You smiled, which made him smile too. After all of you were still friends and family, even if the topic was like a ticking dynamite. All of you were really permissive about everything. And Jack Frost, the guardian of fun, learned very important lesson of not making you angry before he digs his own grave even more deeper. I think we should name them now. What do you think? Bunnymund suggested, and then lifted all of your children one by one in his arms. Jesus Christ, how is he able to hold all of them at once? If I'm reading that correctly. I don't know. This fanfic just makes sense. Okay, in his arms. I thought that too. You smiled happily and then hugged your family. You were sure about one thing. You do everything to make sure that your family stays together as a happy family. Here it is, guys. Chapter 30. The last chapter. Oh, Nelly. I think it's oh, Nelly. Here we go. Time skip. 1 year later. Author's POV. Kids, come over here. Bunnymund shouted while he was painting some Easter eggs at the Warren. You heard some familiar talking coming from the transporting tunnels, which made you move your ears sharply. Shit, Did they come? You oldest daughter asked, and she was okay, it's 1 year later. How do your children already know how to talk? And, like, what? I'm not gonna make logic. Maybe it's their species is different and they grow faster. I don't fucking know. Did they come? You oldest daughter asked, and she was excited. I guess they did. You smiled and then saw 6 of your children running fast towards the tunnels. You saw one of them leaving with you, which made you a bit worried. It was your youngest son, Roy, what the fuck, who is also called Junior. Why is he called Junior, though? Like, is there another Roy? I don't know. He is the reincarnation of Pitch Black, which means he has some of his powers, and also black fur as a sign of his appearance. But he has greenish blue eyes, which means he can't be bad as Pitch if the powers wakes someday. Apparently. What does having greenish blue eyes have to do with him not being evil? I'm confused. Anyways. Also, his fur is the softest and the most beautiful thing you and Bunnymund ever seen. Looks like somebody plays favorites. I'm joking, we're joking. Is everything alright, Junior? You asked and squatted down in front of your son. I'm scared, he said, and he looked kind of terrified. What makes you scared? You asked and lifted him into your arms. Even if they grow faster than human children, they are still just kids. They were right. Santa is so big and evil looking, Roy said and leaned tightly against your fur while you started to walk towards the tunnels. The other guardians had come to visit all of you. No, your worry will disappear if I blow it away, you said, and blew calmly to your son's back, making him giggle. North is calmest person in the whole world. I'll help you to get to know him better. You smiled gently and smoothed your son's back while he was still leaning against you. Even thought you knew the real reason for Roy's actions, you couldn't tell it to anyone. He had been scared of everything since the children learned how to walk and talk. Sometimes he gets fear reactions, which is just a sign of Pitch's powers and how they react to your son's own powers. You definitely didn't like it, but all you could do was just try to help your son to face his fears and to win them. I think they mean beat, but alright. We haven't oh my god. We haven't seen you in ages. How have you been? Toothiana smiled and hugged Bunnymund before she hugged you and Roy. We have been doing great. The children are growing fast, and soon they can help me to paint the Easter eggs. Bunnymund said and lifted the twins into his arms. You say twins, but aren't they all technically twins? They were all born on the same day. How are they? You know what? I'm not gonna make logic. I keep trying to make logic of this story, but I clearly shouldn't. But still, twins. All 7 of them are twins, because they were all born at the same time, same day, as far as I'm concerned. So, like, anyways, lifted the twins to his arms. The twins were your second and your third sons, Easter and Oscar. Okay, here's the question. So Roy is called Junior, right? For some reason. But then you have a son named Easter, presumably named after Bunnymund, because Easter, get it? So, like, why isn't he called Junior if he's named after Anyways, we're not going to talk about that. Anyways, Easter and Oscar. Both of them were grayish white with mixed blue and emerald green eyes. Easter's eyes are blue and emerald green. Meanwhile, Oscar's are emerald green and blue. Huh? That's the same thing! What the fuck? Just because you put it in a different order doesn't mean it's suddenly a different color. Oh wait, never mind. I read ahead. Still though, it doesn't. They didn't clarify it too well. But anyways, right one different color than the left one. And that's the only thing from the look that you'd separate them from each other's. Even the natures were almost the same. What the fuck do you mean by natures? Personality? This author has a weird way of writing things. Shit. Well, it's wonderful to hear, the North said, and then saw your youngest in your arms. But before he managed to say anything to Roy, you turned to the other kids and started to introduce them. We haven't seen you since the laboring? What? That's a really weird way of saying it, but okay. We haven't seen you since the laboring. So let me introduce our children. So, like, in that whole year, no one bothered to okay. You smiled and then started to introduce them. You started introducing them from the oldest to youngest. Motherfucker, are you serious? Motherfucker, are you serious? Ariana is the oldest daughter. If you know why I'm about that, then you know. If you know, you know. But Ariana is the oldest daughter. I'm not gonna say why, but if you know, you know. To the people that know me in real life, you know why I'm about that name being included in this. Anyways, Ariana is the oldest daughter. She has light pink fur and blue eyes. Second and third were the twins Easter and Oscar. Fourth one got named Sonia. The girl has white-gray fur with emerald eyes. Then comes Maxwell, or shortly Max, the fifth. He is all white like you, and he has emerald eyes too. Bria is the sixth, and she is all gray with blue eyes. And the youngest is called Roy, or Junior. Depends on who's talking to him, who is all black with greenish blue eyes. They are so beautiful, Sandman said by using his dream sand. Thank you, Sandy. You smiled gently. After that, we changed point of views again. After that, we all headed from the tunnels to the waterfalls, where also were the tables and stones where to sit. Jack Frost, Bunnymund, Sandman, and Toothiana went to play with 5 of the children. You and North sat around the wooden table, Roy still in your arms, and Ariana was doing a flower crown next to North. Is everything okay with your youngest Gertrude Doogie Fart? North asked when Roy finally turned to look around, but not at him. He is just more shy than the others, nothing more, you said and smoothed his back. But he said that he is scared of Santa, Ariana said while doing the crown. Ariana, you raised your voice a bit, making her jump a bit. She realized that she had said something wrong and she dropped down her ears. The North turned to look at you and he had worried expression on his face. Is that true, Gertrude Doogie Fart? He asked worriedly. You sighed deeply and nodded. Ariana, would you please take Junior to play with? But nothing too dangerous, you said, and lifted Roy down to the ground. He had calmed down a bit and calmed down more when Ariana jumped to him. Okay, Mom, she said, and then took his brother with her. Roy enjoyed more Ariana's company than with twins who are such rascals. Those silly little boys. Gertrude Doogie Fart, does Bunnymund know that? North asked and placed his hands on the table. He had crossed his fingers and he looked very serious, but also very worried at the same time. He hadn't noticed it, but please don't tell it to him. I don't want him to worry, you said and talked quietly even though the others weren't near you. He is the father of your children, and he is your husband also. When did you guys get married, actually? What the fuck? He definitely should know, the North said, making you sigh again. You turn to look away from him. Even if he is wise and kind, he is also the leader of the Guardians, and if he continues this way, he gets too close to the truth. Sorry, I gotta burp more. Oh shit, we're already at 3 hours and 5-something minutes. Longer than the first video. Hooray! Anyways. Blah 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 blah. I do know that, but I have helped Junior with this situation. Maybe if you two see more often, he notices that you are very kind. You suggested, making him smile. I love that. I love all of the children, and the species doesn't matter with it. I do not know why we need to keep bringing up species. That's a running thing in this fanfiction for some reason. Ugh. He said and laughed. I already thought this had something to do with Peach, he said, making you gulp. If you were already nervous, now you were about to freak out. Gertrude Doogie Fart, North said, and turned to more serious again. He had noticed your silence after what he said. What? You faked that you didn't hear him and you were watching children. I know. Hold on, who the fuck is talking? Oh wait, I fucked up. Oh my god, this is so hard to read sometimes. You noticed your silence and everyone said, what? You faked. Oh wait, no, it's what? You faked that you didn't hear him and you were watching children. I know you heard me. Is there something you don't tell us? He said, making your ears drop. He says, making you drop your ears down while looking at the ground. Is Peach Black really beaten? The North said. He had figured the truth out. Now you were really screwed. When I got my powers back, and when I was about to come back, he used his last powers to help me to get back. That also meant that I got the children back. You started to explain, making him gasp. I got a message from the universe. I had to decide. If I wanted to save my and the children's lives, that meant that Peach needed to survive too. Otherwise, the whole world would be doomed. You start sobbing. You definitely didn't want to go through it again. Mate. Is Pitch Black living inside of our son? You heard Bunnymund's voice behind you. You turned around and saw the other guardians and all of your children standing there. Kids, follow me. I'll tell you a story, Toothiana said and tried to help the situation, even if she weren't so happy after hearing those words. But she didn't want to have the children to hear the arguing, and neither did you, so that's why you were so grateful of what she did. Good Aunt Toothiana, we stand. We stand a good auntie. Anyways. Who is Pitch Black? Maxwell asked curiously, but then Toothiana was already walking away from you with all 7 of them. The girls were mostly happy about hearing the story. explanation would be nice, Jack Frost said and jumped, so sit on the edge of the table. Bunnymund just stared at you while crossing his arms. He was also tapping his other back foot to the ground, which meant that he was nervous. Pitch black is Roy. Sandman formed that with his dream sand. Whoa! Bunnymund yelled and definitely was angry. And you tell this to us now? He said, but then the North continued. Gertrude Dookiefart, you need to answer us for few questions. You felt your body shaking. You nodded to him slowly. Who's talking? I'm gonna assume it's still North. Why did you hide this from us? Who are you trying to protect with that? He asked, and he was a bit of calmer than earlier. He knew that making you feel horrible wouldn't help the situation. Does Junior has his powers? Bunnymund growled and looked away. Who the fuck is talking? Jack. If Pitch Black is one of your children, did he replace the one that was supposed to be born without him being the baby? Did he need to kill one? Yeah. Jack Frost said, making you stood up. No, you shouted. Junior is our son, Bunnymund. He isn't Pitch Black. Pitch helped me to live with the last of his powers. He gave them to Roy. The world needs balance. You tried to protect you and your youngest. The situation was horrible. Balance? You tell me that Pitch Black brings balance to the world when he takes his place to be one of our children? Bunnymund yelled furiously. You jumped right in front of him and slapped his cheek. Bitch slap that hoe. You are the guardian of hope. How dare you say things like that about your own son? You yelled and then felt North's hand on your shoulder. Calm down, both of you, he said, making you sigh deeply and look down the ground. Bunnymund sighed too, and the next, for your surprise, hugged you tightly. I'm sorry, he said, and then North spoke. Messages from the universe are very rare, but I believe you, Gertrude Dookiefart. The world needs balance. Well, there is also good and bad things around. Even though we don't want Pitch Black to be here, honestly, I would have been much more surprised if he didn't survive somehow. The North tried to explain the situation more clearly. Does this mean the power wakes up someday and we need to fight our own son? Pull a fucking Garmadon and Lloyd on that shit. Except in this case, the evil one is the son and not the father. Bunnymund said the words that everyone were just thinking. You said, okay, remember that he also has powers from us, you said, but then heard Jack Frost's voice. But your powers come from Pitch Black, he said, making you growl. They never came from him. I was born to be a foreign changer. He gave me nothing, or only when I was by his side and when he helped me to come back. He saved me twice. Or would it be better if I and the children were dead? Is that what you wanted? You shouted, making all of them say nothing more. God damn, Gertrude Dookiefart's a big-ass gaslighter. Fuck you. She's a big gaslighter. Big bitch. Big guilt tripper, motherfucking bitch. Anyways. Blah, blah, blah. Who's talking? Only time shows which powers take control of him. We are here to help him, and luckily he manages to control each one of them. Bunnymund said proudly, and then hugged you again. You smiled to him and kissed his cheek. Bunnymund is right. We need to help him. The future of the world is again in our hands. We need to keep up the peace, the North said, making everyone agree. In the end, all of you, were you truly loyal to only yourself, to your family, to the Guardians, or to the Pitch Black? If the time shows how everything goes, would there be any change that the peace continues, or will there really be battle between good and bad again? Which would mean that you really need to battle against your own son. All you could do for now was just hope that everything goes well and nothing bad happens. But for now, this book has come to an end. The end. Oh boy. Yeah, it's over. I didn't think it was over. gonna be over anytime soon, but he's now. That's interesting. I don't know what to say. For one, my throat hurts. That's one thing I have to say. Now, should I give a little review? I mean, this video is already 13. No, it's 3 hours and 13, now 40 something minutes. Let me drink a gulp of water first. My throat really hurts after all of that. You know what, for these videos, I think I should give, like, at least a mini review of the fan fiction as a whole. So, where do I start? Well, for one, I don't want to say that it being Rise of the Guardians makes it bad already. That's not true. I will admit I've read some Rise of the Guardians fanfictions that weren't too bad. Some of them were great, even. This was not one of them. Look, I'm just not a fan of X readers in general. I have not read an X reader since, like, 6th grade. Since I was, like, 12. Yeah. I have not read one of those since then. And even then, I was not even a huge fan of those. I was not. It was just not my thing. I was like, not my thing. Where do I start that? Where do I actually start this review? I'm just kind of saying random words now. So, well, for one, we'll start off by saying you have the author specifically talking to you. Not really, actually. Just in general to this. I highly doubt the author of this fanfiction's ever gonna fucking see this video, but hey, if you do, then, what's up? I'm sorry for what I don't mean to make fun of you as a person. Like, I'm sure you're great and all. It's just, like, we like to have fun. I don't mean anything hurtful here, I swear. Like, really. And, like, anyone, please do not go harass the author of this fanfiction either. That's fucked up. Don't do that. We don't support that behavior here. But anyways, to get back to the topic at hand. Oh my god, I fucking rant too much. There's a lot of spelling mistakes, a lot of grammar issues, a lot of sentences didn't sound right. Like, you could probably tell multiple times where I'm sitting there looking at this, looking like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's a lot of grammar issues. Not fun. A lot of spelling mistakes. A lot of instances where the wording is weird, like it's not exactly bad, it's just, it's jarring, and it, like, kind of, like, is breaking your immersion the right thing to say for this? Probably. I'd say so anyways, because you get stuff like them referring to the main character as a form changer, when basically a form changer is just a shapeshifter, and it's kind of weird how they say that instead. And, like, there are other times where it's like, you know, the whole after seeing you from the laboring, it's just, those instances are really weird and funky, and kind of like if you want your readers immersed in the story, having those kinds of words kind of, like, breaks it out of it, because it's, like, such weird wording that it's also funny, and, like, this story was definitely meant to be taken a little bit more seriously. Like, it's supposed to be an actual story to get other people interested in. It's not supposed to be a comedy, so having those things there kind of leaves it up for comedy. And also, it's not just that. There's also, I already ranted about the whole colored people thing. I've already made that rant. We're not going into that. Yeah, we're not going into that. I already mentioned that. And then, like I said, there's shit like the White Beauty and the whole comparing of the main character's white fur to panties of a high school girl. Which, by the way, it's also kind of creepy too. I don't think it was intentional, but that's kind of weird. Those are things that also kind of make your story hard to take serious when you're putting random phrases / metaphors like that. It just is funny. It's funny, and I don't think you wanted your story to be funny, but it is. Now about the wait, before we get to plot things, it's also, your formatting is kind of confusing. You could tell that multiple times throughout this reading, I had, and also in the last video, I had multiple times having a hard time figuring out who was talking. I actually had to read ahead a little to figure it out instead of knowing instantly, because the thing is, when you're writing dialogue, you do not keep it in all one paragraph. When so you'll have one person talking, right? Then you want another person to talk, you make a new paragraph. It doesn't matter. If it's not the same person talking still, you make a new paragraph. You don't keep it all in one because it gets hard to understand who is talking, especially because it's all clumped together. That is just a piece of advice. Is make a new paragraph every time someone new is speaking. Don't keep it all in one because it gets confusing to tell who is talking. And I had that problem multiple times, and it makes it, you know what I mean. I need another sip of water. Now on for actual plot stuff. I was not a fan. Like, genuinely speaking, not a fan. Because a lot of it didn't make sense. Some parts came out of nowhere and were not properly explained. I'm trying to remember because it's been a hot second since I've touched this, and today I've only read chapters 18 to 30, so the 1 through 17 I haven't fucking touched in a while, obviously. The whole concept of YN and Bunnymund almost instantly falling in love, it happens way too fast. I know slow burn is not for everyone, but in this case, it happens so quick that it doesn't feel natural. It really doesn't. It feels like it happens way too fast. And again, I compared it to a Romeo and Juliet situation because of how they literally instantly fall in love upon just seeing each other. They don't even know each other, and yet they're saying to each other that you're the love of my life, I cannot live without you, kind of thing. Not to mention they literally also have sex the first day they're dating. I don't mind, obviously, but it's if you want them to have a proper, developed relationship, that kind of, makes it bad. It just, again, it doesn't happen naturally. It feels really forced. The romance between the two characters didn't happen in a smooth way. It was just kind of forced right from the get-go. And not a fan personally. I kept just poking fun at it, saying it was just a Romeo and Juliet type of situation where they instantly decide to get married, or not in this case. They get married. It's just they instantly fall in love They instantly fall in love upon seeing each other, and then they're just immediately they're you're the love of my life. type thing, and it's like, it's is jarring the right word? I don't know. It's just, it didn't make sense, and I really did not like it. But again, it's like, it felt very forced. It didn't even feel like they actually had feelings for each other. It just felt like it was just there, you know? It didn't help that the only ways that they showed that these two were in love was just through nothing but kissing and like some hugs. When kissing and hugs are not the only ways to show affection for somebody you love, or just in general how to show you love somebody. And like because of that, the kissing, especially the kissing and the hugging, became very repetitive, and at some points I was getting genuinely bored. I was like, you know what, like, literally the story is about their relationship, but I get more excited about the points where there's, like, the other characters showing up and talking, because hell, it's a little, at least it's not the same thing happening over and over again, like the whole same kissing shit and love, that crap over and over again. It's not that. It's different. You know, it just, them constantly kissing gets boring when it becomes clear that seems to be the only way they know how to show love, which I don't think is all too great, you know. Next thing, speaking of the love, I already talked about this, but the whole Jack Frost liking YN didn't make fucking sense, and it really pissed me off. It really pissed me off because it came out of nowhere. There was no development for it. There was nothing there. It was briefly mentioned, might I say, in like the first few chapters, like once or twice. Very not much implied. And then, I don't even remember which chapter it was. It was later, somewhere in the middle part of the story. There's this whole conflict of, oh no, Jack has feelings for YN too. Conflict between the two bros and all that crap. That, especially, if you thought the main relationship felt forced, that fucking felt even more forced. Came out of nowhere, had no sort of build-up. It was just there, and it just genuinely got me mad and made me, like, it genuinely got me upset, and I was sitting there like, I don't want to fucking read this anymore. Like, it just wasn't fun. And especially because I was kind of right about them just constantly using Jack as a scapegoat and demonizing, because they did that a few times after this chapter. After that instance, like, they did that quite a few times. Might I add, again, over some shit that really was not a big deal, and it really just felt like the main character was making it a big deal just so that there'd be some sort of conflict again. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I literally sat there and was like, why is she acting like it's the end of the world? I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done it, but she's acting as if Jack's a horrible person for it. And, you know, I was right about, I thought I was going to be wrong about it. Because the thing is that they didn't do that shit for a while. Okay, so another problem is that they had this whole conflict where Jack likes YN. They kind of resolve it, and it's good, and I think, okay, it's fine now. And then, what? It was sometime during this video, they bring it back up. And it's like, what? You technically got it resolved, kind of, and yet you're making it bringing it back again, and it's like, it also just wasn't mentioned for I won't say a long time, for several chapters it wasn't mentioned, and then suddenly it's brought up back again. So again, it turns into, that came out of nowhere, what is that? So again, feeling forced, not proper build up to anything, and it does one of the things I fucking hate the most is when they make a character not act like themselves just so they can be the scapegoat for a lot of things. That is what Jack ended up being in this fan fiction. And like, even if Jack wasn't one of my favorite characters, it still pissed me off, because it's like, you're purposely, or maybe not purposely, but maybe kind of, just like writing this character out of character, and just so that they can be used as, like, again, the scapegoat. I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but oh well. Just so they can be used to blame all of the problems that the main character has on, and also just so that there's somebody the main character basically has to beef with for no real reason. Again, I can't remember every little thing. I've been doing this for like over 3 hours, so of course I won't be able to remember every little thing, but there was times where Jack did something, the main character got pissed with him, and I'm like, it's not that bad. Or it's being a little bit over exaggerated by the main character herself, just so that there's reason for conflict, I guess, because it felt like they did that just because they were running. I don't want to say that. It felt like it was kind of done at times just so, how do I word this? That was kind of done at times because it kind of felt like they just didn't have any other plot lines to go with at the moment. So it's like, this will work for now. Yeah. Hold on, let me take one more sip of water. Alrighty. What else? That whole thing pissed me off. I technically go more into the whole Jack thing in the first video, so I do a little rant on it there, so I don't feel like repeating myself again. So yeah. Another thing, let's talk about pitch, because pitch is very important to the story. I already talked about how I found the whole pitch raising YN and then wanting to marry her thing disgusting. That was already gross. I already talked about how I felt about that. So, again, yeah, I feel like Pitch was also made out of character too. No, he definitely was. Definitely. And just so he could be the villain, and it's like, I don't find that bad in his case, because he's already the villain. And it's not like he was a villain that had a redemption arc and all this shit. No. He was a villain in the beginning of the movie, and he stayed a villain at the end. So I didn't mind it too much that they made him continue being the villain. It's neat. My problem is that again, out of character. I didn't like it. This is another thing that pisses me off is sometimes, I wouldn't say piss me off, but it's like, really? With these type of things is when they do the whole, villain obsessed with main character and wants to marry them for reasons thing. I don't like it just because it's kind of cliche. I've seen quite a few other things do that, other fan fictions do that, and it's like, Really? Why? Why do you want to marry this girl you barely know, or you know, and you know, shit, you know what I mean? Like, because they don't properly give a reason here either about why Pitch wants, like, to marry. Like, he's in love with her, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Again, it's another thing that just felt a little bit forced for the plot, for plot's sake. I just didn't like it too much. I felt like, and it's definitely not something the actual Pit would do. I don't think Pitch Black is like would even be interested in that shit. Like, they still did kind of manage to keep him being all about like, oh yeah, I want to keep darkness in the world, but in this story specifically, he just felt like, you know, he was, oh, I want to marry YN, and that's his whole shtick. Don't like it. They kind of like, it felt like they were watering down his character is a good way to say it, I think. At least. Didn't like that. Oh, Bunnymund. I guess we're just gonna go through all the characters and talk about them, but don't get me started on Bunnymund. I have a lot of issues. Again, another case of being, I wouldn't say completely out of character, I guess. No, will say that at some points it felt like he was being a bit was too aggressive the right thing? I don't know. I felt like he was out of character too. Literally, I think the only character that wasn't entirely out of character was Sandman, but that's because he was barely in the fucking story, so yeah. He was barely in the fucking story, so he fortunately managed to survive the out of character treatment. I'd say Toothiana wasn't exactly out of character either. She felt pretty good. I'd say North too. Those three were good, probably because they were just side characters that didn't do much in the story, so that's why they didn't have much out of characterness, because they were barely in it. Well, Sandman was barely in it, that's for sure. He was kind of just there. And, well, yeah. He can't exactly speak either, so it helps, I guess. Toothiana and North, I'd say, weren't all that out of the character. They were written fine, in my opinion. They weren't too bad. Bunnymund, though, it's that case of the character that's shipped with YN being kind of out of character for the sake of the main ship thing. Yeah, that. Because it's like, just the whole, I don't know, it just didn't feel like I don't know how to put it into proper words, but just reading the whole thing, it didn't feel like Bunnymund was Bunnymund. He didn't feel like him. It didn't feel like it was actually the Easter Bunny. It felt like someone else. It didn't feel like Bunnymund, you know? At some points I was like sitting here like, would he even? No, he wouldn't say this, would he? No, he wouldn't do that either. This is weird. He was also being much more aggressive than I think he would have naturally been. I feel like it. Especially with Jack, my god. The thing is, though, at the end of the movie, they kind of have resolved their things, so like they're on better terms. They're not constantly bickering with I don't think they still mess with each other for sure, but like at the end of the movie, they seem to be pretty much on good terms now. So like throughout and this fan fiction takes place after the movie, so you'd expect them to be on better terms, but it seems like their relationship is actually worse than it is in the movie. So it's weird. That's a thing. I don't know, it's just, all in all, I wouldn't say this is too good of a fic. It's really not. there's a lot of problem it has, and it has a lot of problems, is what I'm trying to say, and I suppose, I don't know, it's just not too great. I didn't really have too much fun reading it. Well, I had fun, but it's like, it's not a good story. I'll be plain and say it. This is not, like, supposed to be an attack, though. It's just my review of it. I read it. I did not care for it. It's got a lot of problems. It's got some classic cliches that X Reader fanfictions in particular do. There were a lot of times where I sat down reading this and was like, I genuinely want to quit doing this. Like, because it was just not fun for me to read anymore, you know? It wasn't fun. And that's not something your stories should ever be, obviously. Like, your readers shouldn't be forced to feel like they're not they shouldn't be forced to feel like they're trudging through something. They should be entertained, obviously. I'm sure, though, like, I don't know how old this is. I think it's more on the recent side, but I'm sure with more practice, the author could get better, write better things. I believe in them, you know? Trust me, I'm not, I really have no right to putting people down, and I'm not. I'm just saying I don't have, like, what I'm trying to say is I, once upon a time, wrote really bad fanfiction too. Like, really bad. I mean, I've since deleted it since then, but God, I never wrote X Readers, but I still wrote some really cringy stuff. Oh my God, thank God I deleted it off the face of the internet, because shit, the stuff I wrote was bad. Really bad. So yeah, I don't have much else to say. Fanfiction wasn't too great, but hey, not everything's a masterpiece, and that's okay, because you improve with time and shit. I'm just saying things now. This is the end. This is officially the end of me reading E. Aster Bunnymund X Reader, Love Between, Last of Their Kind. Again, it'll be in the description if you want to read it yourself. If you just want to read it yourself and not have to hear my stupid rants, feel free to. Yeah. Well, obvious. I don't know what I'll be reading after this one. I don't really know. I've gotten a suggestion from a friend to read Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. I don't think I will. Cause yeah, if you know, then you know, and there's no fucking way I want to do that. This was way less worse than that. So I don't want to put myself through that much torture of reading Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'd rather keep my sanity and my stomach intact, please. Anyways, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I probably will just go scouring Wattpad to find the weirdest shit you'll ever see. But not probably like not Dipper. Definitely not the Dipper Goes to Taco Bell weird shit, just weird. Part of me is half tempted to read My Immortal. Just because, why not? But that's a long endeavor. That motherfucker's like 50-something chapters, way longer than this. So that'd take me a while. I might do it one day. Not anytime soon, but one day, just for fun. I've already read / listened to My Immortal, so I know what it's all about. But it's hilarious, and honest to God, it's ironically one of my favorite fan fictions just because of how funny it is. Like, nothing will ever beat the line of Dumbledore going, "What the fuck are you bitches doing?" It's like, it's something along the lines of, "What the hell are you motherfuckers doing?" Nothing will ever beat Dumbledore saying that shit. Like, come on. Dumbledore swearing the fuck out of his mind? Iconic. I love it. I don't even like Harry Potter. I literally know jack shit about Harry Potter, but I can and will read the fuck out of My Immortal anytime and quote it too. I will. Trust me. Anyways, this is going on way too long. I should probably end this before it ends up being 4 hours just for me talking about nothing. Absolutely nothing. Anyways, don't know what I'll read next. I keep saying that. Shit, because it's I don't know. I'll find something. There's plenty of weird / crappy fan fictions out there for me to read. I won't be losing any material anytime soon, so yeah, there's that. I'm probably gonna take a break though after this because this fan fiction fucked me not fucked me up, it's just my brain cells are kind of gone right now. I can't so I don't think I'll be able to stand another one of these anytime soon. So that's that. I don't know what else to say. See you in the next video, whenever that is. It could be from a week, it could be from a month from now. Who the fuck knows? I don't know, that's for sure. That's that. Thank you for wanting to listen to me read this shit. Alright. You do you, I guess. So that's that. And, bye, I guess. See you whenever. Bye-bye.